this Saturday night, which mercifully is dry and clear. Yes, we've had some dodgy weather in Sussex over the last 24 hours or so, but we are good to go from 7 o'clock for this cricket action. If you want to keep listening to our regular programming, Upload with Leo Ulf, you can just tune in on FM or on the BBC Sounds app. But here on DAB, we're bringing you Vitality Blast action, and I can tell you that Sussex have won the toss and have elected to field, so we'll be hearing Surrey's innings first here at Hove. Now I'm joined in the commentary box by BBC Radio London's Dan Whiting. Good evening, I should say, I suppose now, Dan.
Evening, Andrew. What a lovely evening it is for it here down at good old Sussex by the sea. It's always a lovely place to visit here at Hove, and this is a mouth-watering clash. It's a sellout, and table-topping Sussex host third place Surrey. Something's got to give here, and Surrey want revenge after Sussex beating them at the Oval a couple of weeks ago. Or last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It seems
Time
like
flies.
when there's so many matches. It certainly does. And of course, you were at the Oval last night for an absolute thriller. Tell us all about that one.
Yeah, I certainly was. Surrey will think that they've probably thrown away a point there. It was a tie against Gloucestershire. Surrey just needed 6 runs to win off the last over with 5 wickets in hand. And credit to David Payne at Gloucestershire, who is a wonderful protagonist with the white ball in his hand, and he bowled it beautifully. And it ended up a tie, and it was... I think I've just about recovered, Andrew, actually.
Well, let's hope we get some more dramatic action tonight, as we did last night. Sussex, of course, really pegging Essex back in their innings. Some brilliant bowling in the middle overs to restrict Essex. And then they really teed off. Harrison Ward in particular, and of course Daniel Hughes. Daniel Hughes at one point hitting 32 off 1 over. And it's going to need, although they'll be chasing again tonight, it's going to need probably, in all likelihood, more of that from the top order again from Sussex.
Yeah, he's a good player. I saw him last Sunday down at Bristol, actually. And he got, how did he get down there? He got 65 off 34 balls. And he plays proper cricket shots. He's not a slogger. He plays proper cricket shots, but he hits it so hard, and he took Daniel Sams apart. But that's a really good result for Sussex, because Essex were last year's runners-up, and this is the strong group. The Southern group provided all 4 finalists last year, and it's, it takes some getting out of. And for these 2 sides to be up at the top now, I think tonight's contest could go, if Sussex win it, I think that they could possibly almost be qualified. I think they might only need 2 more wins.
Well, certainly there is that target, isn't there, that coaches and captains like to have with the group stage in terms of number of wins. They've made a great start. Both teams made a decent fist of it, actually, at the start of this competition. You'd expect it from Surrey, because although they've only ever won the T20 Cup once, and that was in its inaugural year, 2003, they've been to a few finals days since, semi-finals and runners-up and everything else. So, but historically and traditionally, they've been considered a very viable white ball team. So, it's going to be another tough game for Sussex, and another exciting one in progress, I expect.
Yeah, I think they're one of the leading counties in virtually every sort of competition, aren't they? People refer to them as the Man City of cricket, don't they?
Just like they used to refer to them as the Man United of cricket.
Exactly.
What era you were.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, Surrey always get that, but Surrey, to their credit, always bring through their own, and tonight they've got 7 homegrown players in their squad. So their squad, I'm going to go through it quickly.
Well, I was going to say, let's without further ado go with the team news. I'm just going to tell you, for Sussex, unchanged from last night, by the way, Sussex fans. So you'll be familiar with that lineup. It's Harrison Ward, Daniel Hughes, John Simpson, James Coles, Finn Hudson-Prentice, Tom Alsop, Danny Lamb, Nathan McAndrew, Jack Carson, Ollie Robinson, and the captain, Tamal Mills. For Surrey, I understand just one change?
Yeah, they brought in Rory Burns for Jason Roy. Jason Roy got 55 last night, but he wasn't a fluent 55 by Jason Roy's standards. But so Surrey will go Laurie Evans, Dan Lawrence, Rory Burns, Ollie Pope skipping the side in the absence of Chris Jordan, who's out in the Caribbean. Jamie Smith, the young gun who just scores runs for fun, and he's a dangerous customer. I love watching this lad bat, and he's next cab into the England ranks, I think. Dominic Sibley Tom Curran, Jordan Clark, Sean Abbott, Gus Atkinson, and watch out for the left-arm pace, Spencer Johnson.
And I tell you what, I mean, I know Surrey will be disappointed not to have conceded the volume of runs they did in that game at the Oval to Sussex, and also to come up well short in the end. But we have got two very good bowling lineups tonight, haven't we? And the batters to match. But I think possibly whoever bowls better might end up winning this one.
Yeah, certainly. I think Sussex's modus operandi is Daniel Hughes and Harrison Ward tee off from the start. Then Simpson is a man for all seasons, isn't he? And then their bowling is pretty tight. Ollie Robinson up at the top of the order keeps it fairly tight. And then Tim Al-Mills, he's got a lot of experience with a white ball in his hand. Finn Hudson-Prentice, he just bowls wicket to wicket. If you miss, he hits. And they're a wonderful fielding unit as well.
You're listening to BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey on DAB, and also on the BBC Sport website and app. Good evening to you. You might also be listening to us around the ground. It's a packed out or sold out county ground. There's still a few people yet to take their seats, still people maybe coming in from the ground from work or whatever. The teams have not yet emerged onto the outfield, but we'll tell you that when they do. We'll also keep you across the other T20 Blast games tonight as well. Plus, England are playing Namibia in that must-win World Cup match. Unfortunately, we can play here at Hove. It's absolutely lovely. Well, I say lovely, it's passable, but we can't play cricket in the Caribbean because it's raining now.
Yeah, never mind going on holidays to the Caribbean. I'm coming to Brighton next year for my summer holidays, it's got to be said. But yeah, unfortunately that could scupper England's chances in the tournament. There's been a lot of talk about Aussies letting the Scots in. Maybe the Scots, they might be having a miserable time in the football, but they might be having a good time in the cricket. You never know.
Absolutely, yeah. Every chance that Scotland could qualify for the Super 8 stage in the T20 World Cup, because rain is currently delaying the toss there in Antigua. Next pitch inspection is at 7 for that one in Antigua. But here at Hove, well, we are all ready for action. The stumps are up. The youngsters are preparing to wave the flags and wave the players out onto the playing surface. We've got the countdown away to our right on the big scoreboard. 50 seconds to go. So, Dan, one final thought before the players do emerge. It's one of those games. It's a derby. Sussex love to beat Surrey. Surrey love to beat Sussex. I know Surrey have their own thing going on with Middlesex, but this game is always fiercely contested. The last few meetings, head-to-heads, I think, have just been shared. It's a tough one to call. Yeah,
it's the M23, or is it A23 derby? But I think it's added extra spice as well, with Sussex going to the Oval and giving Surrey a bloody nose last Friday and beating them there. And Surrey didn't like that, and I think also added extra spice as well, is Sussex being top of the group, Surrey being third, and there's something on this as well as being local rivalry, isn't it?
So the umpires are now both out in the middle. The countdown has ended, and the players are now emerging onto the outfield at Hove. Sussex in their blue strip with their yellow sash across their chests, coming out to rapturous applause from the home faithful, but there'll be plenty of Surrey fans in attendance as well. Some may have been put off, I suppose, by the weather forecast, but if you bought your tickets and they were sold out, don't forget you can't buy a ticket for love nor money for this one. Then yeah, you're going to come, aren't you? You're going to come and enjoy what should be a wonderful game of cricket. Former Sussex man Laurie Evans is opening alongside Dom Sibley for Surrey, according to the scoreboard, rather than Dan Lawrence.
Yeah, interesting. Lawrence, the top three for Surrey haven't really fired yet this season. Lawrence, Evans and Jason Roy have generally been their top three, and they've had to rely on Ollie Pope or Jamie Smith to get them out of jail a little bit. So Ollie Robinson's going to take the first over. Umpires tonight are Surendiram Shanmugam and Nigel Long, with the match referee being Peter Such.
The former Hampshire off-spinner and England off-spinner, of course.
Yeah, Essex and Notts, I think he was as well. I think he's been around the block.
Now Ollie Robinson is going to take the first over for Sussex. Surrey batters of course in their duck egg blue, and we are ready to get underway with Robinson coming in from the sea end and bowls, and it's clipped away out into the square leg, backward of square leg region, and Surrey are off the mark first ball with a single. They've changed that. It's Dan Lawrence opening up.
Yeah, here's Lawrence. That's Lawrence.
But with Sibley. So not Laurie Evans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Lawrence came on to bowl in the power play last night, which is quite an interesting move as well. So, yeah.
Ollie Robinson's control has been very important up top for Sussex. His economy, just 6.77 runs per over in the tournament so far. And the England man is coming in now and bowls. And there's beaten outside the off stump Sibley as he pushes forward at that rather indeterminately, and Simpson claimed it behind the stumps. There's a few overexcited people who may have been in hospitality a little bit too long, maybe.
Yeah, the crowd enjoyed that one. It's building here nicely, isn't it? It's a local derby, full house here at Hove, and it's a cracking atmosphere. It really is.
And actually, out of the bowlers in the T20 blast so far who have bowled as many overs as Robinson, his is the 8th best economy in the tournament as Robinson comes in now and bowls. He's wrapped high on the pad, Sibley, and then comes through for what will be a leg bye. Again, there's quite a few people who were quite keen on going up for that one as well in the crowd, but well high on the pad, and yeah, so it's 2 without loss Surrey after the first 3 balls.
Yeah, so 2 men out in the power play, so we have got a deep backward point, and we've got a deep square leg as well. Everyone else up in the discs. So
Robinson coming in now, he's up to the wicket and he bowls, and then he's at the leading edge, he's taken. Ollie Robinson strikes in the first over for Sussex, as Dan Lawrence, looking to take a couple of paces down the pitch, just spooned an edge into the sort of the gully region, and the catch was taken, and an early breakthrough, a big one for Sussex. Ollie Robinson takes the wicket in the first over of the match.
Yeah, that one just holding its line up the hill. Lawrence looking to work it leg side and gets a leading edge, and it comes off the back of the bat and just balloons up to short third man. And yeah, Dan Lawrence's miserable start to this T20 campaign continues.
Well, Laurie Evans, a few boos I heard around the ground as he walks out to bat. And, some pantomime boos for the former Sussex man. The Warwickshire man, of course, as well. Laurie Evans, and a very fine player in all formats, but has particularly made his name in the last sort of 5-10 years or so as a white ball protagonist, someone who can score and accumulate runs quickly. Robinson, fresh from that wicket, with the 5th ball of the innings, comes in and bowls now, and what if he tried to leave that, Evans, and he's got a bit of bat onto it and come through for a quick single. There was a little bit of hesitation there as well. It's an uncertain start, it has to be said, from Surrey. Yeah,
it has been all season. The top 3 have not fired, and Surrey will be looking at this as a recurring problem. But Ollie Robinson there just getting a little bit of extra bounce, a little bit of extra nip. And I saw him last week at Bristol with a wonderful bit of fielding for a big man, where he picked up one-handed, pirouetted and threw down one stump.
2 slips and a deep gully as Robinson comes in and bowls, and this one is timed nicely through the covers by Sibley. That'll go to the boundary for 4, and the first boundary for Surrey. So at the end of the first over, they are 7 for 1. The wicket was Dan Lawrence, caught in the gully by Jack Carson off the bowling of Ollie Robinson for just a single. Surrey 7 for 1 at the end of the first.
Yeah, lovely shot there by Dominic Sibley. Just leans on that and strokes it, caresses it down the hill there towards the rather nice pavilion there with the hanging baskets. I don't know what you call that. It's Spen Karma, is it? Spen Karma Pavilion. Very pleasant enclosure. So we are going to have Finn Hudson-Prentice from the Cromwell Road end. Here he comes in full and driven. That can only pick out the fielder there, extra cover. So Sussex have Danny Lamb at short third. He's got cover, an extra cover mid-off where Tim Mills is directing his troops. Mid-on where Nathan McAndrew is. Got deep square. Ollie Robinson's at short fine leg. As Hudson-Prentice comes in, that's down the leg side, and that's given a wide there by umpire Shanmugam. And they've got a deep backward point there where Harrison Ward, who's a dangerous customer at the top of the order, isn't he, Andrew?
Harrison Ward, yeah, he's come in the last couple of games. He is a very fine hitter, very powerful hitter at the top of the order. He's scored a lot of runs in the last couple of games, particularly last night.
Here's Hudson-Prentice. Oh, that's a good delivery. Goes past the outside edge of Laurie Evans' bat. Hudson-Prentice back here on home turf, Haywards Heath lad. Signed for Sussex originally, being part of the academy all the way back 10 years ago now. He was released. Went to the MCC-YCs, worked under Steve Kirby, who then took him to Derbyshire for a 6-week trial, and they snapped him up. It's just a little bit of extra nip, turn off the hip there. But can we find Robinson? He's an Eastbourne lad, isn't he? Hudson-Prentice. He's St Bede's at Eastbourne.
Yeah, certainly that's where a lot of the cricket is played. St Bede's School, yeah, up at Dicker, near Howsham, and yeah, born in Haywards Heath, Hudson-Prentice. Yeah, a lot of local talent. Of course, he did, as you said, go away and come back again.
That's driven firmly, but again, can you pick out cover there where Daniel Hughes is patrolling, the Australian who's made such an impact here at Sussex at the top of the order. 35-year-old, plays in the Big Bash League for Sydney Sixers, and he's bashed some English bowling around in the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? Here's Hudson-Prentice, short, pulled. Laurie Evans gets on that early and it goes through mid-on, really. I think he was aiming more mid-wicket, but same result, 4 runs. And Surrey, 12. Laurie Evans on 5. Dominic Sibley on 4. Seagulls enjoying themselves here, plenty of crowd, plenty of food around, no doubt.
Yes, they always enjoy themselves on a T20 night in particular, because yes, lots of people and lots of food.
Hudson-Prentice in, Evans has gone over the top again, and that's just cleared mid-on. He's going to get just a single for his troubles there. I'll tell you what, that was perilously close to Nathan McAndrew there. Yeah, I thought we had a problem with birds at the Oval for Surrey, but the seagulls you've got here is like a lot of pterodactyls.
Yes, they're very predatory. In fact, I watched just literally thrown over our commentary box, but you could see down by the temporary stands, lots of seagulls congregating, about 20 or 30 of them flying over the heads of the people because there's food stalls down there and everything else. Ollie Robinson, who took the wicket in the first over, comes in and bowls, and he's beaten Laurie Evans outside the off stump. Again, lots of cheering from the crowd. Do not be, if you're only listening to us and not got the stream on, maybe you can go to the Sussex website and put the stream on there. If you're only listening to us on DAB or on the BBC Sport app or whatever, do not be fooled by some of the crowd noises, because they are they're well up for this. And any false shot from the Surrey batters is being greeted with possible excitement as Robinson comes in and bowls. This one is driven up over the top of the infield. It's going to be fielded on the boundary, and it'll be only a single to Evans, who moves on to 7 from 9. Surrey are 14 for 1, and we've had 2 balls of the 3rd over.
Yeah, good bit of fielding. Harrison Ward down there. Kept the throw low as well. Simpson asked him to, because it's against, he's thrown it in from the west where the sun's about to set down there. towards Worthing that way, isn't it, down to our left?
Ollie Robinson on his run up. He's up to the wicket now. He bowls a ramp shot and he's going to get away with it, and he's going to go down to the boundary for 4 as well. Really nicely played that from Dom Sibley.
Yeah, innovative there from Sibley. Goes offside and ramps it over short fine leg. And we saw a couple of those last night. Ollie Pope did it to David Payne for 6. Cameron Bancroft did it to Spencer Johnson, which I don't think he was overly enamoured about, it has to be said.
Yes, and Ollie Robinson won't like it either, particularly. As Surrey are 18 for 1 in the 3rd over. About to see the 4th ball of this 3rd over as Robinson, who's already taken a wicket, comes in and bowls, and Sibley lets that go outside the off stump. Now, my feeling is that this pitch is obviously, there's going to be some moisture around because of the rain. The pitch will have been covered, of course, but the outfield will be lush, shall we say. It will be damp, and the wicket will be, there'll be a bit of juice in it, there'll be a bit of life in it, and I just think that maybe the big hits will have to wait for the, I know we're in the power play, but the big hits will have to wait for the pitch and the ball to dry out a little bit, I think. But Robinson comes in and bowls. He's up to the wicket, and another attempted scoop. This one, though, goes through to the wicket-keeper. Lots of excited chatter around the ground.
That hasn't missed. That's gone over straight over the top of middle stump. Yeah, I think you're right. I think some are going through a little bit, and some are just sticking in the wicket. And I mean, it was monsoon conditions. I drove through some horrendous stuff coming down here this after, sort of lunchtime-ish, and it really was. I'm surprised this ground looks so fit.
Robinson up to the wicket now and bowls, or a slower one, which bamboozles Sibley, and it goes through to the wicket-keeper. So Ollie Robinson continuing his trend of keeping it tight at the top, just 5 off that over. Surrey are 18 for 1 at the end of the 3rd. Robinson has done his job. I reckon he'll be saved for later on in the piece now. 2 overs and taken a wicket as well. And we're on live T20 blast action on BBC Radio Surrey, BBC Radio Sussex, and on the BBC Sport app. Surrey are 18 for 1 at the end of the 3rd.
Yeah, Hudson Prentice coming in from the Cromwell Road end as Evans backs away and carves it through the offside. They're going to come back for 2. Flat throw into Simpson, but Evans scampers home. It's easier down the hill, isn't it?
Yeah, there was that brief moment, wasn't there, where they thought about it for a second, and then it's a little bit like when you go to cross the road and you go, right, I've just got to go. I've just got to go and head down and hope that the throw is... The throw actually wasn't that bad, but they were always going to get there.
Did you do the green cross code, Andrew?
Well...
Hudson Prentice, slower ball. Evans picks it and plonks it all the way into the temporary stands for the first 6 of the Surrey innings.
Yeah, that was a cracking shot, over mid-off and over long off, and I tell you what, it's caused panic amongst those seagulls. They don't know what to do now, they don't know where to go.
They think it's someone attacking them, don't they? That's the way to clear the seagulls.
Well, there was a seagull hit at Hove about 10 years ago. Ben Brown was behind the stumps, and
Will Beer bowled it, and I think Ryan Higgins was batting for Middlesex. Yeah,
and it was not pleasant.
It got up though, didn't it? Hudson Prentice, that's whacked past him there by Evans with sheer power. Hudson Prentice can't get out of the way, or can't get his hand down to it. It was hit with such venom, and it goes up the hill for 4 runs. So Laurie Evans just putting his foot on the accelerator here a little bit. He's moved on to 19 now off 12 balls. Sibley's 8 off 7, a little bit more circumspect. Slower ball, Evans again picks it and pumps it over mid-on, 1 bounce for 4 runs.
Yeah, Laurie Evans starting to tee off now. Finn Hudson-Prentice's 1 over against Essex last night went for 12. He'd only bowled 5 overs in the tournament before tonight, and he's being used up front with a couple of overs, and he's taking some punishment now from Laurie Evans, who has got his eye in at 23 off of 13.
Yeah, he's gone for 16 off 4 balls, and Hudson Prentice just want to get out of this over without too much more collateral damage. Here he comes in, bustling in, and that's just down the leg side. That's a wide. So Sussex just need to be careful here. But I think this is a quick scoring ground. The outfield looks quick despite the rain. And I think you're going to need about 190-ish. I think that's going to be par, 180, 190 perhaps.
We'll have to wait and see.
Have I gone too big there?
Well, I don't know. It's certainly a good start from Surrey.
Again, tweaked into the leg side. Not pretty, but he's going to pick up a single.
What's interesting is that certainly for Evans, and we'll wait to see if the field changes, it does now. For Evans, the two men out are both on the leg side. And now for Sibley, they've got that man back at deep backward pointing.
Yeah, although Sibley's been known to favour the leg side now and again in his career.
He really has.
He's a good player, Dominic Sibley, and I'm pleased he's now in the T20 side. Here he comes, and again he's hit that in the air. Oh, he's just dropped short of the fielder at mid-on. I think that's McAndrew, and Sibley gets home for a single. Clever bowling there by Hudson Prentice. Just rolls his finger, bowls the off-cutter, and foxes Sibley.
Changes of pace are going to be important on this pitch. I did think for a moment there, Dan, it was going to be the prime example of the commentator's curse. Because you were just praising Sibley, and I thought he was going to hole out there. But so Surrey then are 37 for 1. We've had 4 overs bowled, 2 from Robinson and 2 from Hudson Prentice. So yeah, Surrey going along obviously at 9s. And we are now going to see Nathan McAndrew, who has lit up this competition so far. He's going to come in and bowl from the C end. He comes in and bowls, and it's been spooned up in the air. This one isn't going to be taken. It's down the ground. It's not even going to be saved. It's going to be 4 runs. It was a leading edge again, I think, and it's gone straight down the pitch between mid-off and mid-on, who kind of look at each other as if to say, one of us could have got that, but no. Mills and Robinson between them, right between them. And McAndrew's first ball goes for 4. Sibley enjoying a little bit of well-earned luck there.
Yeah, he's a workhorse, McAndrew, isn't he? He'll run in all day. He's a wonderful acquisition in his second year here as well.
Took 3 for 32 at the Oval as he comes in now and bowls, and that one's attempted a hoik, but he didn't get hold of it, and it just dribbles back to the Australian. One of 2 overseas players, one of 2 Aussies in this Sussex side, of course. McAndrew with the ball, Daniel Hughes with the bat. 2 very good acquisitions for Sussex, as you say. McAndrew's been here, this is his 2nd season now at Hove. But a lot of people made the point, didn't they, with the white ball team in particular, that it's a very young side. Well, people like McAndrew and Hughes are adding experience to that. John Simpson as well. Danny Lamb too, so as he comes in and bowls now, then a little wrap shot over the wicket-keeper's head. That'll be 4 more innovation from Dominic Sibley. Certainly nothing like the Dominic Sibley we used to see in the Test arena.
Yeah, that's creative there by Sibley, and I like to see it. He's I don't think Sibley gets enough credit for how good a player. People call him stodgy, etc. And you know, he became the fall guy at the top of the order for England, but he's a strong character and he's a good player, and you don't get the amount of runs that he's got throughout his career without being able to bat.
Absolutely, and McAndrew's got now to problem solve, because Surrey are racing along now at 45 for 1 in the 5th over. McAndrew has just sorted out his field, which I'll update you on after this ball as he comes in and bowls, and then just prods out into the leg side of the shy at the stumps. They've come through for the single.
Sibley was gone there. He was gone. He wasn't even in the frame.
Direct hit, he'd have been in a lot of trouble. So 46 for 1 now. Sibley 18 from 12. Laurie Evans 24 from 14. The early wicket of Dan Lawrence, who was caught by Carson at short third man off the bowling of Ollie Robinson.
Yeah, I think that's Harrison Ward with the shy there. No, it's not. It's Tom Alsop.
McAndrew running away from us and now bowls. It's short and it's been whacked out into the leg side and it's over the rope for 6. It was short, it was leg side-ish, and it was given the treatment. At one stage, I think Tom Alsop thought he might have been in business, but he's beaten him, cleared the rope, and almost into hospitality.
Yeah, no, I thought he put it straight down his throat. I thought he actually put it straight down Allsop's throat there.
Sorry, then 52 for one. 15 off this over, and then clubbed down the ground this latest one bounce for 4. And this is brilliant batting from Evans and Sibley, overcoming the early loss of Dan Lawrence, and they are going along very nicely indeed. 56 for 1 at the end of the 5th. Although, you know, Essex started like this and Sussex pulled it back in the middle overs, they're going to have to do a similar job, you reckon, if they are to avoid chasing a big score. But on this ground, of course, big scores are possible. So we'll have to wait and see. But certainly Surrey are going along very nicely indeed. Evans 34 from 16, Sibley 18 from 12.
Yeah, that's 6 as well there, brought up the 50 partnership between these two. And there's still 1 over remaining in the power play. And Timel Mills has got to have a think about this, so much so that he's had to bring back Ollie Robinson from the Cromwell Road end. Here he comes in. Sibley slices that. I don't think he meant to get it there, but it's going to be 4 runs and runs away down to 3rd in between Danny Lamb and Harrison Ward.
Yeah, this will be frustrating for Sussex because at the first couple of overs they bowled quite tightly, and the ball was finding the fielders, and then came the innovation, the ramps, and but now we are seeing, all right, they're aggressive shots, but they're still good cricket shots, and they're going for boundaries.
Yeah, Robinson into Sibley, who's after everything. It's like the furniture sales, isn't it? Everything must go.
Everything must go. Surrey, excellent so far. 61 for 1. Laurie Evans 34 from 16. Sibley 23 from 14. And we're only 2 balls into the 6th over, beg your pardon.
Well, I tell you what, these two have set their stall out, haven't they? They mean business. They mean business. I think that defeat at the Oval hurt them, and now Surrey have come here showing, you know, their power, showing their strength, and that is top order, smashing it everywhere.
Field now. Backward point comes around to a more orthodox deep point.
Robinson in, and a little fiddle there from Laurie Evans outside the off stump. I don't know if he's trying to run that down or if it was a genuine delivery that beat him, but Robinson coming down the hill he's been there or thereabouts for years, isn't he, in the top wicket takers in the country. Bowls a heavy ball, hits the splice, and he's in quality.
So, yeah.
Here he comes. Oh, that's a thick inside edge by Laurie Evans. Runs away, Sussex getting no luck. Laurie Evans showing why it's called the Surrey cut.
And, yeah, 4 more to the Surrey total, 65 for 1. And Laurie Evans racing along 38 from 18 now.
Yeah, he means business here, Laurie Evans. He struggled a little last night, only got 6, was caught behind.
It was a proper hoik as well, watching the replay, and he's got the inside edge, which has gone for 4.
Robinson in. Evans smashes that one up to Timel Mills at mid-off. Yeah, before that, Laurie Evans, in the game before, he opened against Somerset. He only got 4. He's caught off the bowling Craig Overton in that one. And away at Cardiff, he got 27. Again, he hit quite fluently down the ground, but that's where you target a Cardiff with those short boundaries, isn't it? There he is, just nurdling one into the onside. Ooh, Sibley's a little bit casual there, slow off the mark. That completes the power play. Surrey are 66 for 1. And I think they're going to be very pleased with that.
I think they will be as well. I do think this could well be a high-scoring game, but
I do as well.
But runs on the board, very important. I know there's that, you know, that sort of dilemma at the toss. You know, if pitch conditions are equal, then you go well. But do you chase, because then you know what target you're chasing and you can go for your shots and pace your innings accordingly? Or do you like to get runs on the board? So we're going to see James Cole's bit of off-spin now as the first over after the power play. Left arm round the wicket, bowls. It's been driven up to the man at long off. So there's more men out on the boundary now outside the power play. It's going to be a single, obviously, to Laurie Evans. He moves on to 40 from 21. So striking at just under 200. And Cole's now up to his mark again. Left arm bowls and then prodded up, not quite timed, up towards long on, and it's fielded by Finn Hudson-Prentice. And again, a single which, after the carnage of the last few overs, Sussex will be quite pleased with these if they're just going to be milked rather than hammered, as Coles comes in again and bowls, and again work down towards long off, where Hudson-Prentice scampers in, collects and then throws back to the wicketkeeper Simpson, limits Surrey to a single. They're on 69 for 1.
Jamel Mills has got some options here though. He's got himself, he's got Carson, he's got Coles, and he's got Danny Lamb as well.
Coles bowls, and that one is hit straight to the ring fielder, and that will be a single saved. So no run there. 3 from 4 from this ball, for this over so far from Coles. Getting him through his over pretty quickly as well. That one's now spooned up in the air. Is it going to be caught? Yes, it is. So Dominic Sibley falls to the bowling of James Coles. Top edge, high into the night sky in Hove. It went down towards the sort of backward square leg area.
Yeah, Ollie Robinson under that, safe as houses.
And a nice catch. It was an attempted sort of slog sweep. And yeah, down towards deep backward square leg. Picked out Robinson. And so Sibley goes for 24 from 17 deliveries. Useful innings. Surrey 69 for 2, and a very important wicket for Sussex there.
Yeah, they needed that. The best way of putting the brake on a charge like that is by taking a wicket. And this brings to the crease Ollie Pope, who got 99 against Sussex last week, and they clapped his 100, I believe. And it was a scoreboard error. And we'll probably want to make amends for that one.
Well, yes, if he's got time to.
Yeah.
You know what Ollie Pope's like. He will be on it from the off, and
yeah, he could be a little bit of a frenetic starter.
He can, yeah, very skittish. Skittish is the way I describe Ollie Pope at the start of his innings. Well, he's playing that back to Coles, who gets a real warm round of applause for what is an excellent over, because he's only gone for 3 runs and he's taken a wicket as well. And although Surrey will still be very pleased with their start, which is basically 10 and over, 69 for 2 at the end of 7, that one has just applied the brakes a little.
Yeah, I think pace off might be the way to go on this wicket. And the ball just sticking in the pitch there, you can see it's gripping Con. I do wonder if it's pace off and just make the batters forced to make them hit it as opposed to deflect it.
There is another pitch inspection in Antigua. It's fine weather here, by the way. 8 o'clock BST, that'll be.
Jamel Mills in from the Cromwell Road end. That's just a little fiddle there from Laurie Evans, just a fish outside the off stump. 69 for 2 now. Evans is 41 of 23 balls. Ollie Pope has just faced 1 ball, which he didn't score off. Crowd though, lovely hats they've got over there, blue hats. Oh, there's something quintessentially English about Hove, isn't there?
There absolutely is. There even more so in the early period of the county championship, when they got the deck chairs here, of course.
Mills, that's down the leg side, and it's given a wide there by umpire Sumandiran Shanmugam. Came over from India, I think. I was one of this sort of trying to get umpires in from other parts of the world by the ECB, and did a few games last season. It's good to see him back. Here's Mills, that little hop, skip and a jump at the start of his run-up. Short and smashed down deep square leg throat by Laurie He never looked like dropping it, did he, Andrew?
He really didn't, and I tell you what, it got high on him, and it went even higher. But Tim Mills will be delighted with that to get a wicket with his, well, it's his second legal ball of his spell. And Sussex are doing just what they did against Essex, pegging it back.
Yeah. This brings to the crease the man of the moment, and I think the next guy who should be in the England side, in fact, I think he should be in the Caribbean right now, Jamie Smith. He's an absolutely fantastic cricketer.
Well, he wouldn't be getting more cricket tonight here than he would in the Caribbean.
He certainly would, yeah. But I saw him bat for 38 balls versus Glamorgan down in Cardiff, and then 38 balls against Somerset at the Oval. He got 76 and 87, and he had 15 sixes over those two innings.
And he's just as destructive in the longer form as well.
Yeah, he's a wonderful cricketer. When you see him set up, look at his setup. He looks like a croucher. He doesn't look. He's a really fluent stroke maker. Mills into him, and he just plays that to mid-on. Didn't get many last night though. He perished for 20, caught at long on.
Yeah, there's something a little bit old school, isn't there, about Jamie Smith's stance and everything else. A bit, Chris Reed might have been something similar. He used to crouch a bit.
Yeah, but once the bowler releases it, and he plays some gorgeous strokes through the covers. He's really pleasing on the eye. He's aesthetically pleasing. Mills around the wicket. Smith works that one through mid-wicket, just for a single.
Just 2 off this over so far in that wicket.
Yeah, and 3 off the last. Sussex have hauled themselves back into this.
Should just give a lot of, I know we talked about Jamie Smith as he came to the crease, should just give a lot of credit to that innings from Laurie Evans, because that was superb and threatened to take the game away from Sussex, so they'll be delighted to have him back in the hutch. Surrey need to rebuild from here.
Here is Mills to Pope, who flashes outside the off stump, and it crashes into the gloves of Simpson. Simpson, for me, is, I think, one of the top wicket keepers in the country. He really is. He's world class. Jack Russell described him as being world class on social media the other day.
Don't get much higher praise than that coming from one of the best.
You'd think he'd know what he's talking about.
You think he would, wouldn't he? That was the same debate that we're having now over the whole Bairstow folks thing was happening in the 90s with Alex Stewart and Jack Russell, of course.
Yeah. Mills in. That's down the leg side. Great stop there by Simpson. Saves. 4-leg buys. And just keeps it down to one. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see England having 2 wonderful keepers in Simpson and Foakes, isn't it? It's like the days of in football when we had Shilton and Clements. The only thing is, England cricket-wise, have picked Joe Corrigan in the last few years.
Well, I'm making no comment. So, just to wrap up that Laurie Evans innings, 41 from 24, 5 balls and 2 sixes, caught by Coles off the bowling of Mills. And now, of course, what is big for Sussex is there's 2 new batters at the crease, fresh and need to rebuild with the captain, Ollie Pope, and the wicket-keeper, Jamie Smith. Robinson to bowl out from the CN now. So 1 over from the Cromwell Road end, and now to bowl his final over from the C end. So we're going to see Robinson bowl out in what is the 9th over, beg your pardon. We've had 8 overs as Robinson comes in and bowls now, and he's beaten by a drive. Little bit of movement as Pope goes to drive that one. He's yet to get off the mark, Ollie Pope, 4 deliveries.
Yeah, Robinson just bowling that nagging length, doesn't he? Just back of a length, very hard to get away. Saw him at Bristol last Sunday where he bowled 3 overs, 1 for 11, and the Gloucestershire batters were going after him, but he's just nibbles it about from just short of a length.
Robinson is in and up to the wicket now and bowls, and an attempted ramp. Has he got something on that? Which the keeper he has. He's been given out, Ollie Pope. So Pope falls for a duck. Sussex get their 4th wicket. Ollie Robinson his 2nd of the night, and the hosts are fighting back after that early onslaught from the Brown Caps. And Surrey now 72 for 4.
Yeah, having been 69 for 1, this is a little bit of a middle order collapse. And it looks like Rory Burns coming into the crease. It is Rory Burns, the Red Bull skipper, and I wonder if he's coming to the side. It's his first T20 appearance of the season. I wonder if he's coming to the side, giving that little bit of experience, that little bit of ballast, you know, that glue in the middle order that they possibly need.
So, Ollie Robinson, 2 for 21, and he's bowled 11 dots. Very useful, very useful. That's
a big wicket as well. Pope can be destructive.
Well, as indeed Sussex saw at the Oval, it's 99. The wind is getting up now. You may be able to hear that on our effects mic. I can also see some washing hanging out on one of the flats around the ground, which is getting an absolute battering. So if you live in that house, I'd take that in if I were you, because otherwise we'll be able to catch it from here.
Dry though.
The flag, yeah, we'll get it dry. That's true. The flags are almost ripping off the flagpoles here as Robinson comes in and bowls round the wicket to the left-handed Burns, who flicks that away through mid-wicket. He's going to get a single, which is more than Ollie Pope did in his 5 deliveries that he faced. I think it was 5. And so another situation where Surrey have 2 new batters at the crease.
Yeah, certainly do. But one has played for England. The other one is going to play for England. There's quality right through this Surrey lineup. Even though they've lost a few quick wickets, they're still dangerous.
Robinson is into bowl now and bowls, and that's beaten Smith as he tries to, well, it's gone down the leg side actually as a wide, as he tries to work that away. So another wide. Sussex, if you're watching the stream, on the score graphic you get the predicted score, which is at 158 as it stands, which it was 180, 190 at the beginning of the innings when Surrey were finding the boundaries. Robinson comes in and bowls. That one is pushed out into the covers just to take a quick single, get off strike, get up the other end. Smith then moves to 2. Surrey 75 for 4, and yeah, we're just after 4 balls of the 9th over.
Yeah, Sussex just squeezing their rivals here from up the A23 at the end of the power play. It's 66 for 1. Possibly at the end of the 9th, it's only going to be 75. Good bowling here, good captaincy as well from Tim Mills. And Sussex just doing what they do, just bowling wicket to wicket. Good fielding, and they're a well-drilled unit under Paul Farbrace. They really are, as Robinson is going to bowl round the wicket to the left-handed Burns. He adopts that crouch position as trademark and then plays up the pitch correctly. Yeah, back to the bowler. I think this is the right thing to do from Rory Burns. Surrey, yeah, obviously want to motor it along. It's a T20 game of cricket, but you need wickets in hand at the back end of the innings in T20. And I think it's imperative that Surrey don't lose more than 2 by about the 2 more by about the 16th over. Well, we've now had 3 overs without a boundary as Robinson comes in round the wicket, bowls to Burns. Burns drives out through the covers and gets a single. There is protection out there. And it will be the end of Ollie Robinson there. So he's bowled out, he's bowled superbly, as ever. Yeah, he's been excellent, Ollie Robinson. He's gone 2 for 25 of 4 overs. And he's a good, honest pro, isn't he? He really good, honest pro, Ollie Robinson. The words honest pro probably aligned with the likes of Ollie Robinson. Slip back in now as well for Tim Mills. He's going to bowl to Burns. Yeah, the Tom Alsop, the man who's gone in there, third as well. So I reckon they're probably going to keep this outside Burns' off stump here. He's actually bowling to a 6-3 field. Here's Mills as Burns flashes at that, and good carry through to John Simpson there. What a wonderful signing he's been for you, John.
He really has for the Sharks.
Yeah, wonderful bit of recruitment. Daniel Hughes has been a very good bit of recruitment. Jaden Seals has been a very good bit of recruitment. You know, whoever's in charge of that, whether it's John Philby or whoever at Sussex, you know, they've been really on it this winter.
Absolutely, and there was a case a year or two ago where they're having to piece together their overseas players because of availability. I know that happens to a lot of counties, but yeah, they really lacked consistency in selection.
Mills in, Burns goes hooking, cloths it a little bit, and it just dribbles out into the onside, but they'll come through for a single. Jamie Smith went hooking last night, and one went into his lid and went off for 4 runs off his helmet. So I wonder if he'll, you know, if they've made a little mental note of that, and Mills might give him some short stuff, pepper him, give him some chin music.
Now, with the slips come out now, Allsop's gone to sort of mid-wicket region. Lamb's come round to a more sort of orthodox third man rather than square.
Here's Mills down the hill. That's full and crashed through the offside, but can't beat the fielder out there, who is Harrison Ward. Harrison Ward, Oxford lad.
Yep, that tie-up with Oxfordshire. Sussex produced Harrison Ward.
James Coles as well, through there. James Coles, because they used to have a tie-up with Gloucestershire, didn't they? Oxfordshire. And now Wiltshire are in with Gloucestershire, and Oxfordshire, bizarrely, are in with Sussex. Here's Mills, in Burns. Just doesn't time that at all. Into the offside, Daniel Hughes does the fielding. That's a dot ball. Yeah, James Coles is another one who's come from Magdalen College in Oxford, which is the same school as Tom and Ollie Price at Gloucestershire.
So back to that slip in place for Burns, who's 3 from 6.
Here's Mills. Rhythmical approach into the crease, slower ball down the leg side.
That did not come out of his head as he wanted to.
No. And Shanmugam signals a wide, 79 for 4.
There's 2 men out on the hook for Burns.
Yeah, I think he'll take it on, but he does hook well. He rolls his wrists. But I love all these guys in there. A Sharks headwear here to the left. It's sort of like, it's like a Man City convention. I'm expecting them to do the Poznan in a minute. Burns slashes that one backward of square on the offside, and they'll come through for a single.
And then the field reverts once again to when they come through for a single.
You can see Sussex are well drilled there. The ball comes into Simpson, and there's no one to back it up on the behind Simpson, so people are rushing off the boundary on that side, on the what side is that? By the clock tower over there.
Yeah, by the main scoreboard.
Yeah, good cricket.
80 for 4, by the way.
Mills, short and slower ball, just rolls his fingers, and Smith throws it into the offside.
Excellent over again.
Yeah. So just 5 off that over by Tim L. Mills. We're at the halfway stage. Surrey racing on for 4.
And they were 61 for 1 at the 66 for 1 at the end of the power play. So 4 overs of 15 with 3 wickets.
Yeah, Sussex have dragged themselves back into
exactly
this game,
as they did last night.
Yeah.
So. But the hard work, of course, from the Sussex perspective, not yet done. But Surrey, they're going to want to rebuild from here. And as you said, with Rory Burns there, they can use him as a fulcrum. And Smith, once he's got his eye in, I mean, they've only faced 12 balls between them. So 12. As we're going to see McAndrew now bowl from the C end. And he comes, bowls to Smith. Smith works that away through mid-wicket. They're going to dash in to try and keep it down to 1, which they do. A little bit of a fumble from Harrison Ward, but he got away with it. And it's just going to be a single.
Yeah, I thought there was two there. They ran the first one quickly,
They
as
really
it
did.
should, and Burns was rapid between the wickets.
That run rate now down to 8.1. It was up beyond 10s and 11s when they were teeing off at the beginning. I'll run you through the scorecard in a moment as we wait to see McAndrew now, who will come round the wicket to the crouching left-handed Rory Burns. And Burns, again, doesn't get hold of a drive, and McAndrew takes the return on the bounce. So Dan Lawrence caught Carson bowled Robinson 1, Dom Sibley caught Robinson bowled Coles 24, Laurie Evans caught Coles bowled Mills for 41, Ollie Pope caught Simpson bowled Robinson without scoring, and these two, Jamie Smith not out 4 and Rory 5, Rory Burns not out 4, and they are 82 for 4. Surrey, as McAndrew comes in, he's round the wicket and bowls, and now this one has been picked up. It's going to go down over the head of the man at backward square leg, and for 6, and that is a much needed boundary for Surrey. It's their first since the 6th over.
Yeah, good timing there from Rory Burns. Got under that one and smashed it into the stands. It'll be interesting to see how this innings pans out, because Ollie Robinson is now bowled out, and I think he is Sussex's insurance policy. He's the safety net, the safety harness for Tim Mills.
McAndrew comes in and bowls, and Burns this time plays it into the mid-on region, gets a single and moves on to 11 from 10. Surrey 89 for 4. BBC Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey, and on the BBC Sport app, T20 Blast Cricket on your DAB radios. Good evening to you. 13 minutes to 8 o'clock. The cut-off is in half an hour's time for this innings. Nathan McAndrew will bowl to Jamie Smith this time. So McAndrew comes in and bowls and gets something on that, whether it's bat, whether it's body, not entirely sure. It's going to be a leg bite. Came off the pad or the hip area, and a slight angle on the from the commentary box from the wicket, which is pretty much fairly central, I think, Dan, isn't it, really?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think it's...
I'd say the shorter boundary is the one which is towards the leg side with Burns as we speak, but not by much.
It's the test wicket.
Yes, as McAndrew comes in and bowls, and Burns drives that handsomely down the ground for 4. That's a superb cricket shot. You say what you like about some hoiks and things that went off the edge and off the splice earlier, but that is a superb shot.
Yeah, that is, as you said, a proper cricket shot. You know, T20 offers innovation, but that is textbook on drive there from Rory Burns.
Handsome that was, handsome. Burns moves on to 15 from 11. Jamie Smith is 5 from 7. And at the end of the 11th, Surrey are 94 for 4. And we're going to have some more spin in the form of Jack Carson.
Yeah, there's the expensive over there. 13 off it, including the 6 that Burns put into the Spent Carver Pavilion.
Now Carson bowled 1 over at the Oval, went for 15.
Here he comes from the Cromwell Road end, and Jamie Smith just bunts him up to long on. Yeah, Carson, young lad, came over from Northern Ireland. I think he only bowled 1 over at Bristol, actually. He did, and that went for 12.
His first season as a T20 player, 4 wickets in the 5 overs that he's bowled.
He's going to come around the wicket to the left-handed Burns. Here he is. Just nurdles him into the onside. They're running quickly here. They're going to come back for 2. No. Good fielding there. Ball fired into Simpson from Nathan McAndrew. Really quick off the mark there, long on. Keeps him down to a single. Here Carson. There he is, and Smith goes high, wide and handsome for a huge 6 into the indoor school. That was a monster of a hit.
It's a big one, and it's starting to get Surrey back on track again as they go past 100, 102 for 4 in the 12th.
Carson to Smith, and again he goes again, and that's going to go all the way for 6. Jamie Smith
that shows what he can do. Off the front foot, he can hit you down the ground, and then if you drop it slightly short, he'll muscle you over the boundary as well. He can hit sixes down the ground or front and back foot. Not many players can do that.
Bit of a long hop, that one from Carson as well, which he absolutely marmalised Smith.
Here he comes. Smith going over the top of extra cover, and that's gone just a couple of feet short from the boundary for 4 runs. Smith meaning business here. Carson, he's been a promising sign. I mean, he's recommended here by Ed Joyce, wasn't he, back in the day? Here he comes. Smith uses feet, just tickles him out to mid-wicket, almost yorks himself actually. That was well bowled by Carson. But that has been an expensive over. That's gone for 19. And I'm not sure we're going to see much more of Jack Carson.
9.4 that run rate now. I should just give a belated apology to Ollie Robinson. That second wicket of his, I didn't mention, but that's his 50th wicket in T20 cricket, so he's got a mini milestone.
Yeah, what a wonderful servant he's been to Sussex cricket as well.
Now Danny Lamb returned against Essex after not playing the previous couple of games. He's coming in now and bowls, and he's immediately conceding a single to Jamie Smith, who moves on to 24. Danny Lamb, 10 wicketless overs for 104 runs in the competition so far. Lamb will now come round the wicket to the left-handed Burns, who's on 16, and it's on his hips, and he'll work that away as a slower one. He's going to get at least 2. It's going down towards deep backward square leg. They settle for 2. Burns moves on to 18 from 13. Sorry, 116 for 4.
Yeah, it's a nice placement there from Rory Burns. This is a ground here. It's quite a square ground at Hove. And you need to know your angles a little bit, don't you? And you need to know the areas of the ground where there are 2s.
Lamb comes in and bowls, and this time he clips that one through the covers for a single. Burns 19, Smith 24, 117 for 4, sorry.
Jamie Smith, crowd enjoying themselves over to our right in the hospitality area. Enjoy hospitality, don't you?
Absolutely. 7th different bowler used by Sussex so far as Lamb comes in and bowls, and that's a firmly struck shot through the mid-wicket region. It's a brilliant diving stop on the boundary rope.
Harrison Ward there, that's outstanding.
Excellent
actually
work.
Gathered pace as it went down the hill.
Well, there is an 8-foot slope from the Cromwell Road end to the sea end, and that one was running away.
I walked up it earlier, I needed my crampons.
So Harrison Ward is now with the right-handed Smith at deep mid-wicket, and this one is up in the air. It's going to be fielded by Hudson Prentice, who grabs it in, one bounce, one hand, and gets, again, more warm applause from the people in hospitality in front, just behind him.
Probably because he didn't miss it and it bounced into their gin and tonics there. But again, it's good cricket from Tim Mills. He's got his 2 best fielders at long on and deep mid-wicket in Harrison Ward and Finn Hudson-Prentice.
8 off this over so far from Danny Lamb as he's coming in now to bowl to Smith. He's on 28, and Smith works that through mid-wicket, and it'll be a single. So in the end, 9 off that over. Keeps the run rate at a similar amount, and Surrey 122 for 4 at the end of the 13th.
Yep, that brings up the 50 partnership as well between Jamie Smith and Rory Burns. And Burns, yes, he's only got 19 or 14 balls. He's added that experience. And Surrey, I think, have been lacking in this campaign so far. Now they've got a really good platform to move on and get a big total. Coles fires one in. Smith, he might get 2 here. No, he's not coming back. Again, Carson quickly off the deep square leg boundary there.
So still spin from that end, but Cole's replacing Carson.
Yeah. Cole's a little bit flatter than Carson, isn't he? He's got a lovely action, Cole's. Burns just nudges that one out to long on for a languid, easy single.
I love the word languid. I need to use it more in polite conversation.
What, having a languid conversation? Here's Coles. Smith miscues there. He's going to get 2 for his troubles, but that's a moral victory there to James Coles. Smith was looking to go possibly over long on. And the ball just gripping, turning away by the left arm spinner. And Smith playing a full shot. Here is Coles to Smith, who goes big yet again. That's gone many a mile for 6 runs down towards the net area.
Yeah, that's a big old hit, that one.
He's a clean hitter. I could watch this boy bat all day. I really could.
Striking at 200 at the moment, 38 from 19.
Yeah, I've seen him this season, and he's a joy to watch. He really is. Coles in. Smith bullies that one down the ground to long on. He's only going to get 1 for it though. 133 for 4 now. Smith 39 off 20. Burns 20 off 15. Good partnership this for Surrey. Coles into Burns' legs. Gets that one out to deep mid wicket for a single, and he'll retain the strike at the end of the 14th. Surrey 134 for 4.
I know there's obviously been a few sixes hit in the last couple of overs, but I do think that ground fielding in that previous over in particular has saved a couple of boundaries, and that has really perked Sussex up in the field. You can see the body language is really good.
And in T20 cricket, that can be the difference between winning and losing, can't it?
It absolutely can, as you would have seen last night at the Oval.
Yeah.
Danny Lamb continuing as he now bowls, and it's a clean hit down towards long off, but it's fielded, and they'll take a single.
Ollie Robinson moves well for a big guy.
He does.
That run out of Bristol was outstanding last week, and again there he's moved like a gazelle.
It's not sometimes an adjective used to describe Ollie Robinson, but as Lamb comes in and bowls, and this one's hit down the ground and just clears the rope into the fence for 6. So yeah, that's 6 more to JB Smith, who is, after a circumspect start, has started to unleash and free his arms, and he's moved on to 45 now from 21.
Yeah.
Surrey 141 for 4 as Lamb comes in now and bowls to Smith, and Smith again parts high up in the air. This could be caught by Hudson Prentice, and he takes the catch. So just again, as Surrey were freeing their arms as they were getting the momentum in the game, Sussex pegged them back, and Danny Lamb gets his first wicket in T20 cricket for Sussex. The summer acquisition will be delighted to get off the mark after 11 wicketless overs. He's now got 1, and Sussex have their 5th of the evening, and that brings to an end a very impressive knock from JB Smith.
Yeah, good bowling there from Danny Lamb, just held it back, rolled his fingers over that, and Fox Smith and Hudson Prentice just never looked like dropping it at all, did he? Good catch.
Watched it all the way. It was right in front of us as well, that Hudson Prentice catch. If you're listening to in the ground and wondering where we're commentating from, that is the big window down by the covers with Hudson Prentice fielding in front of it, and I'm sure plenty of you, including those in the Sussex Sharks hats, are listening around the ground.
Yeah, give us a wave. Give us a wave if you're wearing a Sussex Sharks hat on the left-hand side there.
There's a few. There's a few. As Danny Lamb now comes in and bowls to Tom Curran, who doesn't score off his first ball.
No. Tom Curran out off the first ball. That David Payne over last night got yorked, and that set the tone.
7 off this over, including the wicket, as Lamb now comes in to bowl to Tom Curran, and Curran flicks that away through deep backward square leg, and they'll pick up a single. And Curran then off the mark. Surrey 142 for 5, bang on 8 o'clock. 17 minutes is the cut-off to start that final over.
It's going to be... No, they should be all right. They should be fine. They've only got to be bowling the last one by 8, haven't they?
As Lamb comes in and bowls, so it's a slower one which goes down the leg side and will be a wide. Well down the leg side.
They won't make the cut-off if they continue like that, though.
No, that's true. That's true. It was the USA, wasn't it, in the World Cup, who had a big problem with there. In fact, they had 5 runs penalised. As this one again is wide down the leg side. Danny Lamb trying his variations and not getting either of them right. Burns now, what's interesting there is, obviously it is a slower ball, so harder to work away, and you don't want to get caught, but I wonder whether a different batter, a bit more aggressive, may have tried to have clobbered those, but this time he is going to try and clobber it, and it's gone up in the air, and this one might be out as well, and is. So Danny Lamb picks up 2 wickets in the over. He tried to bowl 2 slower ones, ended up down the leg side on both occasions for wides, but he's got one to stick in the pitch, and Rory Burns holds out into the deep, and Sussex strike again, twice in the over now for Danny Lamb, and it leaves Surrey at 144 for 6.
Yeah, all stop there, never looked like dropping that. But that's a good innings from Rory Burns. He's added a lot of experience there. And Danny Lamb gets his 2nd wicket as Burns perishes for 22, yeah. But it doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, he aided and abetted Jamie Smith.
He really did, yeah. It was the anchor around which, and I think, you know, people talk about a lot sorry, I'll put my teeth back in. Talk about that a lot in one day in 50 over cricket, but in T20s you still can afford to have that person to build around in the middle order.
Yeah, so 144 for 6 in the 15th as Coles comes in to Curran, who can only fire that at Daniel Hughes' extra cover.
Tight fielding again from Sussex.
5 overs left. I think they are looking at near 200 as Curran just about slices that over. Birdman, who makes a valiant effort but can't stop the ball from racing away down the hill. Is that Ollie Robinson again?
Yeah, it's
no, it's
Danny Lamb.
That's some effort, isn't it? That really was a great effort.
And it is because of the slope. It just continued to pick up pace, and his dive was perfectly timed, but he just took the ball with him.
Coles, shorter, fires it in, bowls it into the pitch, and Curran just turning his wrists on that, working the ball into the onside. Is Coles spinning the ball, flicking it from hand to hand. Got lovely action for a left arm spinner. Really gets over that front leg. That's again fired into the covers. Great stop by Daniel Hughes, and that brings up the 150 for Surrey in the 16th over. Jordan Clark getting off the mark there.
Some very good close-in fielding.
Coles, as that's worked off the back foot, punched over the covers and into the offside for another single.
6 down, and obviously with Curran and Clark in. Curran's got a long handle, as we know.
So's Jordan Clark. There he is. He didn't get hold of it, actually. It just goes out to long on, and it's a great throw into Coles. Keeps him down to a single. 152 for 6 at the end of the 16th. And James Coles has bowled well here. He's gone for 21, 22 off 3 overs. And he's bowled those difficult overs.
Terrell Mills is going to come in to bowl
I was going to say he's gone 1 for 7 off 2.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got to bowl at the death. That's his job, isn't
Yes.
it, Tim Mills? He's bowls at the back end of an innings, and he's got variety up his sleeve.
It looks like he's going to bowl the 17th and 19th, as he chooses to change ends. And he's going to bowl now to Jordan Clark, who's 2 from 2. Offside dominated field, and Clark pushes that up towards long off. And Ollie Robinson fields, and he takes the single. I was going to say, when do Surrey look to go ultra aggressive? Are they going to save it for the final over and trying to get 15 off it, or 15-20, or are they going to the 19th is when you tend to want to
I think next over. They don't want to lose a wicket here, because then
Jamal Mills comes into bowl. That's worked away through backward square on the offside, and it's going to be a 4. Nice shot that from Tom Curran. Backward point and down for a boundary.
we've had a tweet from
Oh yes, you can. Yes, I forgot about
Andy
that.
Shots, who sent us the seagulls, those pterodactyls that we were talking about. What do you feed them on down here, Andrew?
I try to avoid feeding them, I tell you that much. Worth noting that in the Euros, Albania have taken the lead against Italy in the first minute.
Wowzers.
Meanwhile, a single taken by Tom Curran off that next to Mal Mills delivery, which means Surrey on 158 for 6, halfway through this, the 17th over.
David Wright's been in touch as well. He's saying, how's the weather looking?
Yeah, it's looking all right, actually.
Yeah,
The cloud has actually broken up. We're getting some blue sky poking through. It's a little bit like, if the grey clouds were replaced by white, it'd be a little bit like the opening to The Simpsons. That sort of cloud. With the sun poking through just above the stand away to the left as Tim Mills comes in, and it's cut away by Clark out into the offside. Again, good fielding for Sussex, which keeps Surrey down to 1. They wanted the second, but they've kept it to 1, and that's important. That ground fielding, I mean, I've not kept a tally of it, but I reckon, it's saved them a good while with a couple of boundaries possibly, yes. Yeah. So I reckon we're looking at 10, 12, 14 runs that's been saved just by the intensity of the fielding.
That's the Simpsons in Bart, Lisa and Homer as opposed to the Sussex wicket keeper.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the John Simpsons. As Mills comes in, left arm round the wicket and bowls, and now did that get a thick edge and then go through the gloves of Simpson? It's been a run.
Not sure that carried, actually.
Yeah, it died, didn't it? It certainly came off the bat. So a missed opportunity, or not a missed opportunity, but an opportunity for Sussex. But yeah, just died on Simpson, and he couldn't quite claim it, diving forward away to his right.
Yeah, it's the off-cutter. It goes away from the right-hander from Tim Mills, it's his left arm.
And I'll just tell you in a second about England as Mills comes in and bowls. It's shorter slightly, and it's worked down through backward point. They're going to come for a single, and just a single again. What's that? That's 9 off the over from Jamal Mills. 1 for 16 from 3 overs from him. Surrey 161 for 6 with 3 overs to bowl.
Yeah, they'll be looking at getting 10 and over from here in, won't they? I think that's what they want. So, yeah, we'll see.
24 seconds that goal for Albania, by the way. Rain still in Antigua. The next pitch inspection is at 9 o'clock BST. The cut-off time for any play 9:46. A washout would eliminate England and send Scotland through. England needing to beat Namibia.
Danny Lamb's coming in from the Cromwell Road end, where he gets out to mid-wicket for a single. I mean, you just couldn't bear it if the Scots beat us in cricket. I mean, they're such magnanimous winners as well, aren't they? They're so quiet and self-effacing.
What I would say is that the rain came to England's rescue in that game against Scotland, because it would have been a tough ask.
That's gone up in the air, and it's gone many a mile for 6 into the crowd. I think it's been dropped in the crowd. I think the young man might need a little bit of fielding practice down there. young lad there in the blue hat. Get down to your
They're
local club, Sunshine.
They're all blue hats.
They are, yeah, but he's a younger lad.
Oh,
I think he spilt that chance, so...
it's away to our left. I'm hidden behind a wall, so I couldn't see it. I'm not going to blame anybody.
Yeah, I'm looking directly
was-
into the sun, so I can't quite see it. But
It's Dan
that's
Whiting.
not-
It's Dan Whiting on commentary you want to complain to.
Haha, that's gone again, all the way over the top. Has he caught it?
No.
No, that's been spilled. What's going on? Good job, Sussex feel better than your crowd down here, Andrew. That's a second 6. And Tom Curran is looking like a dangerous customer here.
Yeah, he's got, as we all know, Tom Curran, he can hit a long ball. He's moved on to 23 from 11 with those 2 6s. Moved Surrey on to 172 for 6.
Here's Lamb to Curran. That's a good Yorker. Oh, they're coming. Oh, they're thinking about 2. That's a good Yorker, and they needed that because Curran was causing more collateral to any man in Sussex since the days of William the Conqueror, I think there, Andrew.
Very smart that.
Lamb down the hill to Jordan Clark, who goes to Hoyk leg side and misses, but they'll scramble a leg by. 174 for 6.
Strangled appeal. On the scoreboard, the second ball is down to 4, but I'm pretty certain it was a 6. And
Where's the stand?
yeah, and it's down as 6 on the on Crick Info. So I just have to double cross-reference the score against that.
That was the one that went into
Yeah.
there, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, went into the seats. That's gone up in the air. Where's that one gone? It's gone into the sun. I can't see it. Oh, he's dropped. Oh, he's caught it at the second attempt. I think he's juggled that. What's gone on down there? Couldn't see that one.
It's a long way from us. It's the furthest part of the ground from us.
My eyes aren't that good.
It's right by the dugouts as well, so the ball is up against a lot of people and equipment and everything else.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That's our excuse.
Whatever it is, it's
This
the
is,
end
I
of
think,
Tom Curran for 24.
So he's hit it. We can watch the replay actually, and it's just about sort of taken. He took a knee really, sort of spiked, like he was spiking in American football, I suppose, and and claimed the catch right on the boundary rope.
Oh,
So-
it's a great bit of work actually, because he's got the rope to contend with there, isn't he, behind him? I think that's Finn Hudson-Prentice again, isn't it?
Yes, it is, off of Danny Lamb, who's taken 3 wickets now. He'll be delighted with his evening's work.
That's the end of the over, 174 for 7.
2 overs to bowl. There's Jamal Mills will bowl himself out here. Left arm round the wicket to Jordan Clark, and it's a shorter one, and Clark tries to just swing it away, but doesn't get hold of it, and he gets a single as Mills scampers to try and pick up off his own bowling. 175 for 7. So so we're just watching the replay again on the stream of the catch. I mean, it's the longest part of the ground. Yeah, he did. He sort of juggled it as he went to his knees. Brilliant from Finn Hudson-Prentice, who is down below us now. Fielding at long on with Sean Abbott, the new batter, and Mills will be bowling to him. Mills, little skip as he comes in from the start of his run-up and bowls, and it's a good full delivery, which Abbott works out into the leg side. Finn Hudson-Prentice scampering around. They're going to come back for a second. The throw is wide of John Simpson's gloves, and it allows Abbott to come through for that second run, and Surrey to 170, a Richie Benno friendly 177 for 7.
What I love about Finn Hudson-Prentice is he does all disciplines of the game well, doesn't he? He's a decent bat, he's a wonderful fielder, he can bowl, and he's a nice bloke.
He's a top man.
He's a lovely man.
He is a top man. Jamal Mills is also a lovely bloke, a good commentator too. He was working on the England warm-up games before the World Cup. As that one's been spooned up in the air, Hudson-Prentice will try to get there and take the catch, which he does. So he's claimed another one. I think he's saying he couldn't really pick it out of the sky. He's got the catch, Finn Hudson-Prentice. Surrey lose another one. That's Sean Abbott, who's gone for 2 from 2. And our Surrey, who have got a good score so far, 177 for 8, but are they about to commit the cardinal sin of white ball cricket and not bat through their overs?
Yeah, what have they got? 8 balls left, 9 balls left?
Yeah, 9 balls left.
9 balls left. Yeah, well,
still a good score though, decent score, I think.
it is Gus Atkinson's, or is this Atkinson? Yeah, it is Atkinson. Spencer Johnson, I don't know too much about him, but Gus Atkinson can hit a long ball.
3 catches for Finn Hudson-Prentice now, and 2 wickets for Tymal Mills, the Sussex white ball skipper. 2 for 19. And Mills now round the wicket, left arm bowls and dabbed into the legs offside, and they were going to come through for a single direct hit, would have had the non-striker run out by a mile. Clark, I'm not entirely sure why Clark thought there was a run there, because there really wasn't. Atkinson didn't move, Clark was halfway down the wicket, and they almost could have relayed it in and run him out, but the direct throw was on.
Talk about barbecuing yourself.
Yes. I know he wants to get out the other end because he feels he's the one to do the damage, but that wasn't there.
No, it wasn't.
Now Mills to bowl to Atkinson again. He's round the wicket, he bowls, and again that's played up the pitch, and Mills fields off his own bowling. Good ball, good full ball.
Good from Tymal Mills, this.
He's got such great experience, hasn't he?
He's got such variety. He's got tricks up his sleeve, hasn't he?
Of course, he was a non-playing member of the England T20 World Cup winning squad of 2022. He was injured before the previous one, and then was an injury replacement for 2022, and then didn't get on the park. Meanwhile, his England colleagues could be heading home tonight, or at least out of the tournament tonight, as Mills comes in and bowls, and Atkinson works that away through mid-wicket. They're going to think about 2, which they will get. It's a vacant area, that mid-wicket area, with people out on the boundary. They've taken 2, which will mean that Jordan Clark will take strike of the final over of the innings. Surrey are 179 for 8, but what a spell of bowling that is from Tymal Mills, who was 2 for 21 off of his 4 overs.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Leading from the front, the Sussex skipper. Doing the dirty work as well, bowling at the death.
And they've made the cut-off by 1 minute.
Yeah, you only have to start the last one. Danny Lamb here. 3 wickets. As that's gone down the deep, that could well be a 4th. No, it just dropped short of, I think that's Coles out, deep mid-wicket. Is it Coles or Allsop? I think it might be Allsop, actually.
Yeah, Tom Allsop.
Threw it in with the left arm, so had to be one of the 2.
But so Tymal Mills' economy 5.25, Ollie Robinson 6.25, and James Cole 7.67.
Lamb, short and wide, well bowled, Danny Lamb.
Yeah, and I think on our effects mic that caught the toe end of the bat, I think.
It sounded pretty horrible, didn't it? It sounded a clean strike.
It's sort of a glance from Clark towards the umpire as if to say, was that a wide? But I think it did.
Do you reckon he Q-ended it?
I think he Q-ended it. But
there he goes, Lamb. Just parries that one.
Like a goalkeeper round the post.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Spoke about Joe Corrigan earlier. Danny Lamb actually tipped that one into the corner of his own net. I think it was more Gary Sprake, perhaps, but there you go. Anyway, 3 balls left. Surrey, can they maximise his position? 182 for 8. As that's again bunted out into the onside by Atkinson. But only for a single. And I think this is about a par score here for Surrey. I don't think it's like, if it is above par, it's only slightly. I think there's runs in this ground.
Absolutely.
With Daniel Hughes in such fine form. Here's Lamb. Clark goes Swinging leg side. And again, Danny Lamb, the fraudster, tricks him.
What an over this is, by the way.
This is superb from Lamb.
4 from it, from the last 5 balls, or the last 5 balls is over, the last over.
Is Clark gonna put this one? Last ball of the innings. Danny Lamb to bowl. And Clark can only get it out to Daniel Hughes. That's going to be a single. And Surrey end up on 184 for 8. And I think
BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. T20 blast action is what we're focusing on this evening, and it's a halfway mark between Sussex and Surrey at the county ground at Hove, and it's a very intriguingly poised match because at the end of their 20 overs, Surrey, who started so well and finished strongly actually, finished on 184 for 8, so Sussex need 185 to record another blast victory and remain top of the South table, in fact extending their lead because this is the only match going on in the group this evening. And Dan Whiting for BBC Radio London is alongside me. Dan, just before we start the Sussex response, your thoughts very quickly on that Surrey innings, and then you'll take up the commentary from there.
Yeah, well, it started off with a bang, didn't it? With Laurie Evans going ballistic with 41. And then it lost its way a little bit until Jamie Smith and Rory Burns rebuilt it. Tom Curran as well. It's Spencer Johnson, though, left arm over the wicket, and he's sharp. He's slippery, this guy, as he bowls to Harrison Ward. And Spencer Johnson, one of the stars of the Big Bash. I think one of these real matchups in this game is Spencer Johnson to Daniel Hughes. I think whoever wins that battle, it could be crucial to the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Lots of match winners on both sides, but that could be a real key one, couldn't it?
Yeah, they'll want to see the back of Hughes. They saw how destructive he was last night. That's short and wide, and that's going to be out. Ollie Pope bags the catch, and Harrison Ward goes without scoring. Spencer Johnson doing him for pace a little bit there.
Yeah, and Harrison Ward, who has been was brilliant against Essex last night's career high score of 68 from 36, but only made 10 against Gloucestershire at Bristol in his first T20 innings of the summer, and he's gone now without scoring. And Sussex lose their first wicket without a run on the board.
Yeah, and they put on 99 last night, these two. So it's a funny old game, cricket, isn't it? It's a funny old game.
James Coles walks out to the crease. He's got 165 runs in 5 innings. Career best 69 not out off 49 against Glamorgan, but only made 17 against Surrey at the Oval.
Yeah, Spencer Johnson, interviewed him last night, BBC Radio London, after that tie with Gloucestershire, and he was in a thoughtful mood, perhaps. He'll be happier tonight. Here he is. Over the wicket to Coles. Again short, and Coles fiddles with that one. Oh, it's given a wide, actually.
Yeah,
chased it though, didn't he?
He did. It was out of his reach, but yeah, first run on the board for the Sharks at least, and 1 for 1 off of 0.2.
Yeah, Johnson's been really good at the top. Bowls at the top and right at the back of the innings. Somerset 2 for 15 off 3 overs against last year's champions in the Vitality Blast. Here he is. Oh, that's gone through. Coles nips back, cuts him in half, and Jamie Smith goes sprawling away to his left. But he's slippery, this guy. He's quicker than he looks as well.
He is, and I can just tell you, by the way, that England match will start at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yes.
So there is hope for Joss Butler and Matthew Mott yet.
Johnson bowled him. Castles, Coles rearranges his furniture, and Surrey are 1 for 2.
Wow, what a start that is for Surrey. Spencer Johnson is doing bits here at Hove, and he's got 2 wickets in the first over, and Sussex's reply is in tatters at the moment. They've got a big rebuilding job on their hands. James Coles castled, and no runs off the bat as yet, and the pace of Johnson is just doing for Sussex under the lights here at Hove.
Yep, 2 young lads from Oxfordshire who've come through the Sussex system. Spencer Johnson has sent them both back to the pavilion without scoring.
James Coles has history against Surrey. was in 2020 when he became Sussex's youngest first-class debutant, 16 years and 157 days old, in the Bob Willis Trophy in COVID at the Oval, and he dismissed Rory Burns, Ben Folkes and Jamie Smith. Not bad.
Well, his last night's finisher, John Simpson, scored 10 off the last 2 balls, took Luke Benkenstein to the cleaners at Chelmsford. He's got a different job to do tonight. He's got to rebuild this Sussex innings. Here he is. Oh, on a leading edge, and that just dropped short of Gus Atkinson at third. Simpson looking to turn that one onside, and just shapes away and takes a leading edge.
Well, if the team talk beforehand was to, I know there'll be confident Sussex at the top to blow teams away, but if the talk was to get through Johnson's first spell, it's not happening.
No. Here is Johnson to Simpson, who lets that one go, and Smith can't move quite a long way after the stumps, and that's an absolute cracking opening over there from Spencer Johnson. The Sussex Sharks 1 for 2.
Yeah, real crackerjack of an over from Spencer Johnson. 2 wickets, just the 1 run, that was a wide. And he got the leading edge as well, that fell just short of the man who is coming on to bowl, Gus Atkinson. He's a real handful as well.
He's quick.
He's quick. And this pitch will do a little bit as the Seagulls swoop over the ground. They're flying quite low. And Gus Atkinson now from the Cromwell Road end bowls, and it's a thick edge which will fly away for 4, and some cheers around the ground. It was a full shot, but I tell you what, it was firmly, if you're going to swipe hard.
Yeah,
it was,
flash hard.
It was flew away down to the boundary.
Yeah, I think that's a shot to nothing.
Hughes. That was his first ball he's faced.
I think that's a shot to nothing, because you've got a man out at deep backward square and you've got a third, but really, you know, you're not in danger of it being out.
As Hughes faces again, and this time he's beaten. Pulled inside the line of it, and it's a good ball from Atkinson. Went through to the wicketkeeper Smith. Now Hughes, 224 runs in 5 innings, 47 off 18 against Essex last night, including, of course, taking 32 of them from 1 over.
Yeah,
phenomenal hitting.
Compatriot Daniel Sams.
65 against both Gloucestershire and Surrey in the return match at the Oval. What damage can he do tonight, if any? Well, he's pulling that one away out through mid-wicket. It's got to go away for 4. There's a big chase. There's an empty boundary out there, apart from the backward square. And this is the thing of the power play. You can't have everybody everywhere. The men out are on deep either side of backward of square on either side, I should say. And yeah, that one was pulled through in front of square through mid-wicket, so it was, even though it was going up the slope a little bit, it was always going to go for 4.
Yeah, Sean Abbott couldn't cut that off.
Atkinson bowls to Hughes, and there was a bit of a mix-up. I'll tell you what, Simpson wanted the run more than Hughes did.
Simpson dropped his bat.
He had to go back.
Had to run back. He thought about picking his bat up, and then thought, no, better of it, and just ran back.
2 boundaries off this second over. Sussex 9 for 2, having to rebuild after that first couple of wickets of Spencer Johnson, as Gus Atkinson comes in and bowls, and brilliant shot that from Hughes. Cover drive, gloriously timed. It was a full delivery, and it slightly on the up, but it got the treatment from Hughes, and he's picked up his 3rd boundary of the over.
Beautiful that from Daniel Hughes, just caresses that one to the cover boundary. It wasn't even a half volley, he just pushed at it, and that's sheer timing.
Hughes on 12, 3 boundaries in this over. As he drives through the offside, he's going to get a 4th. And it's one of those ones where it was timed well enough just to, or not timed perfectly, but timed and kept the fielders interested, but it was beautifully threaded between them.
Yeah, a few people coming back from the bar here, and have missed all the action in Spencer Johnson's first over. But that's the people of Sussex are rather thirsty, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, It's been a brilliant season for Sussex cricket so far.
Yeah.
This season, and top of Division 2 of the County Championship, top of the South Group of the T20 Blast, Vitality Blast, I should say. And we're going to see John Simpson now facing up to Spencer Johnson.
Yeah, here's Simpson facing Johnson, just gets up on his toes and plays that back to bowler. We spoke about Sussex's recruitment being, you know, so good over the winter. And now is the real chance for them to actually show that, aren't they? With two of their recruits from, you know, their overseas recruit for T20 cricket in Daniel Hughes, their red ball captain, who's come in after 15, 16 years at Middlesex, John Simpson.
I think Hughes is due to play some red ball stuff as well.
Is he? Sure, and Simpson pulls, and that's gone round the corner.
He
Hurries him up, but that
he did not know much about that.
He played that well, though. He played that well. He got onto that and watched it all the way and just worked it around the corner. Just used the pace of the ball, but it was quick.
Yeah, it really was, and there's a distinct height disadvantage that Simpson is giving away to Spencer Johnson, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think you might get another one here. Spencer Johnson into the wicket. That's a good delivery, that's a good seed to Simpson. Goes through to the gloves of Jamie Smith. Spencer Johnson was described by my colleague from BBC Radio Bristol last night, Ed Seaborn. It's looking like he's come straight out of Love Island.
Can I just say as well, well, I will say it, I'll tell you what, I'll say it at the end of the over. I'll come on to that at the end of the over.
Johnson, left arm, over the wicket, down the leg side, it's going to be a wide. 22 for 2 now, the Sussex Sharks. And I thought the Sharks were moving rather nicely out on the outfield in the interval. You had one sort of normal, you know, great white, and you had one hammerhead there, I saw. So enjoying themselves, getting the crowd going, and this is midsummer, the Vitality Blast.
I mean, you say midsummer.
Well, it's supposed to be midsummer. Let's just play out to-
Calendar-wise it is. Meteorologically, it's sort of about, I don't know, middle of November.
It has been cold, hasn't it? It has been cold. I nearly put my heating on the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
I refuse out of sheer
Yeah, I do as well.
bloody-mindedness.
I do out of tightness, actually. I'm just mean. But yeah, it's. But this is what it's about. Rivalries here between Sussex and Surrey, just up the road from each other, up the A23, as Johnson comes into Simpson, and that's going to be a single misfield there from Gus Atkinson. They just take one. But this is what it's about, rivalries. And, you know, franchise cricket doesn't create that sort of stuff. You know, the rivalry that you've got between Sussex and Surrey, or Sussex and Kent, or Surrey and Middlesex, you can't manufacture that. That comes from years of history.
Certainly not the way that, you know, it's been done with, you know, for example, with the 100 and whatever. But I mean, in Australia, I think it possibly does, because they get the city rivalries and whatever.
Yeah.
And they've been long held in other sports. But yes, certainly regional ones would be very difficult, as there's a bit of a false start from that Spencer Johnson run up.
Daniel Hughes about to face his first ball there from Spencer Johnson. Pulls out just as the left armour was approaching his delivery stride, which probably irked him somewhat.
Daniel Hughes is going to take over from Chedishwar Bajara as the overseas player in the red ball game as well. So Hughes is here for the season.
And he's been a fantastic recruit as well, Cheshire Pajara.
What a player.
Saw him get 150 at Bristol last year. That's just into the legs there of Hughes, and Simpson calls him through for a leg by. 24 for 2 at the end of the third over. John Simpson on 5, Daniel Hughes on 17. Both have faced 7 balls.
Yes, I can't. There is a pillar or something that is obscuring the bottom right-hand side of the big scoreboard, but it looks like the Duckworth Lewis Stern pass score is 40 because of the run rate, and B the resources you have in hand. But yeah, that's the Sussex obviously still behind that considerably. No rain due, I'm just giving it as a bit of a guidance on how they're getting on. So Sean Abbott is going to bowl now from the Cromwell Road end and bowls, and it's been punched off the back foot by Hughes, but for no run to mid-off.
We hope there's no rain due.
Well, you told me there wasn't. You were my weatherman before the game. I'm gonna throw you under the bus right now.
Michael Fish in 1987 has got nothing on me, I tell you.
Oh. Well, of course, it was the South that took the brunt of that in '87. And Abbott now coming into bowl to Hughes, who flashes that one down towards the gully region, and he'll. There's no run.
Burns down there in the gully.
24 for 2, Sussex Sharks in the 4th over, chasing 185 to win. But they lost 2 wickets in the first over, losing Harrison Ward and then James Coles as well. As Abbott comes in and bowls and edge through to the wicket keeper, and Hughes goes for 17, and that is a massive blow for Surrey. That's the one they wanted. They're cock-a-hoop out in the middle, and it's a wicket for Sean Abbott. Hughes goes, caught behind. Jamie Smith patches it, and Sussex are in disarray at 24 for 3. Surrey well on top in the derby.
Well, we spoke about the matchup, didn't we, of one Australian against the other, with Spencer Johnson against Daniel Hughes, but it's another Australian there, Sean Abbott, doing the damage. Just a little feather through there to the gloves of Jamie Smith. And as you said, Surrey, I think, know how big a wicket that is. But Tom Alsop has been in wonderful form. He's got 2 50s in this competition, hasn't he? So there's still life in this game yet.
Yep, his 68 against Surrey was his highest score in the competition this season. His very best came for Hampshire, his former club, against Somerset, but that was 8 years ago now. He made 85 off 57 for Hampshire against Somerset. Batted at number 3 in the first couple of games, and then has come in the middle order since.
Yeah, he's come one way down the A27, and Ben Brown and Ali Orr have gone the other, haven't they?
They have, yes. As Abbott now comes in to bowl to the left-handed Alsop, who's tucked up a little bit, but on his hips, but he's worked that away. Back with a square on the leg side, and he'll pick up a single to get off the mark straight away. 2 left-handers at the crease in Alsop and Simpson, as they were with Hughes. In fact, the top order's packed with left-handers apart from Coles.
Very pronounced backlift, hasn't he, Alsop? And he thumps the pitch really hard. I can hear him on our outside effects mic. It's like he's drilling for oil.
Simpson now facing up to Abbott, and he's dropped that at his feet. No run there. And good bowling this from Sean Abbott. Just 1 run from the first 5 balls of his spell. Surrey in their duck egg blue shirts.
Yeah, you said this earlier. Do you think it's duck egg blue or teal?
Teal.
Or
I remember when
Coventry City, 1986.
I remember when Liverpool came out with an away shirt, which they described it was cream, but they described it as ecru. So I gave up guessing, I think. And a bit of an undercut that from Simpson. It's gone behind the stumps for 4. Bottom edge or Q end of the bat, but either way, it's gone to the boundary. And I really suppose, Dan, it doesn't really matter how you score your runs.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Simpson's nuggety batter, isn't he? I mean, he's got that grit. He's a northern lad. He's from Ramsbottom, and the Lancashire League. Started playing Lancashire League cricket when he was about 9 years old. His father, Jack Simpson, was a wonderful cricketer in that as well. And he's got that northern toughness, but he's also got the class, as he showed with his 200 earlier in the season. He's 160 against Middlesex. Here's Spencer Johnson bowling to Alsop, who close shout for LBW, but Nigel Long having nothing to do with it at all. He's the one that matters. They might put their hands on their heads like Tom Curran is doing here.
Down the leg side, I think,
Yeah,
on
I
the
thought it was
replay.
sliding down. I thought it looked like, we haven't got the best view here, but I thought it was sliding down from here, actually.
Good shout, but I think...
Yeah. Oh, you're entitled to ask. Johnson to Allsop, who doesn't really hit that with any sort of timing, and it dribbles out into the onside, but they come through for a single.
Difficult unless it straightens up, because Johnson, to get LBW, because obviously he's bowling to left-handers, he's trying to not give them too much width either. Simpson loves a good cut.
Yeah.
And so he's trying not to give him too much width, and I suppose you know, there's that in the back of their mind to
Yeah, Allsop bats on, I think, sort of leg stump or Midland leg as well. He's got a trigger movement which takes him across the stumps, but here's Johnson to Simpson, who plays that back to him. Simpson just biding his time here, knows that he can't take liberties with this Surrey attack, and Sussex Sharks being in such a perilous position, having lost 3 wickets in the first 3 overs. But you'll know that he's a good, experienced cricketer.
Well, yeah, and also he'll know as well that Sussex now, if they're going to win this, are going to need to win it deep, go deep to win it. So there's plenty of time, he'll feel.
Johnson, and that's in the air. Simpson's going to get 1, 2, comes back for a second. Good throw, but Simpson's quick, and he now moves into double figures. 11 off 11 balls.
Flew past Atkinson at gully, didn't it? It would have been a great catch if he managed to get there.
He's sharp, Johnson, though, isn't he? Don't you think?
Yeah, it's good lord, yes. That one leading edge, yeah.
There are a number of real quick Aussies over here, I think, coming out of the Big Bash League. He's one of them. Riley Meredith in Somerset. He's lively. Johnson left arm over to Simpson. Just takes the pace off that. Simpson just, maybe if they can see off Johnson, there might be easier pickings at the other end, perhaps.
Yeah, well,
Sean Abbott, Tom Curran.
Tom Curran, yeah, I mean, they're not easy, but...
Gus Atkinson, Jordan Clark. Dan Lawrence probably bowl a little bit of his idiosyncratic spin. Johnson, oh, that's glorious from Simpson. Gun barrel straight. Johnson striving for the Yorker. Simpson answering his questions with a full face of the bat.
Yeah, and just watching the replay, he described it as gun barrel straight. You're absolutely right. It's almost shaved, sort of what might be the left-hand stump as you look on the screen, as the umpire looks. So at the end of the over, 36 for 3, Sussex. It's the end of the 5th over. And we're going to see Abbott again to Tom Allsop, who's only faced 3 balls so far. And Allsop goes to try and swing that away, and just Q-ends it to out to the offside, no run.
But more importantly, he's used up 3 overs of Spencer Johnson, which, you know, that could be crucial. I think Surrey want to hold him back for 1 at the end.
Yep, 2 for 15 from his 3 overs.
Although Tom Curran bowls at the death.
Allsop now facing and clubs that away through over the top of mid-wicket. It's going to run up the hill, it's going to be kept in, and they'll have to settle for 2 on that occasion. 38 for 3.
Yeah, the fans on the YouTube seem to be enjoying Simpson's innings here. My Hindi's not that good, but I know the word Simpson. It's the same in both languages. So, Abbott just at the top of his mark. The light shining in the flats behind him.
Abbott comes in and bowls and struck on the pads.
Oh, that's
big shout, but no says the umpire. Nothing doing, and they come through for a run. No leg by given, so there must have been some bat involved. It's difficult, as we say, from our angle to judge LBWs, and now the stream is obviously a few seconds behind. Yeah, there was a little bit of bat involved, I think, on that one.
Here come the Seagulls again.
Yeah, they love it. They love it round at home as Abbott comes in and bowls, and Simpson plays that down backward towards backward point boundary, and there's a single there.
We've had a number of tweets about the Seagulls, actually. Sarah, Breast Statistics, had loved this goal milking its time on camera. Mark has said, hide your chips, Dan. And Beefy Roberts said, babies compared to those huge ones in Scarborough, but still wouldn't try and stroke it. I wonder if you get southern softy seagulls.
Abbott comes in to bowl to Tom Alsop, who tries a flash at one and it beats him. 40 for 3, Sussex. And the last ball of the power play, which you have to say has been won comprehensively by Surrey.
What I don't understand about seagulls, though, is when they do find a bit of food, they sort of crow about it, and they tell the world about it, which is probably the worst thing you can do when, you know, all their seagully mates will try and nick it off them.
Yeah, they don't kind of just keep it to themselves, as Abbott comes in and bowls, and Alsop tries to crash that through the covers, but it's well fielded. No run, so at the end of the power play, Sussex are 40 for 3, and Surrey well on top, as Sussex need 145 more runs to win from the last 14 overs.
They're 26 runs behind Surrey at this stage. Surrey was 66 for 1 at the end of the power play.
6.7 the current run rate, and the required rate now above 10s.
Spencer Johnson is going to bowl out. Well.
Try and break this partnership and feel that
he's
done a job. Obviously, I mean, he's got plenty of support from his teammates. That Surrey are not a one-man band when it comes to us.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I thought they might just try and hide one up their sleeve. But Ollie Pope has skippered this side pretty well in this campaign. Deputising for Chris Jordan, he's Johnson. Oh, that's a good delivery to Simpson. I think Simpson acknowledges that to him as well.
This is about, I mean, I suppose again, Surrey, maybe the psychology of it. Sussex maybe felt that they would have seen him off already. Be disappointed to see him back up at his mark. Also, do Surrey feel they're now going to use up, Sussex are going to use up another over just seeing Johnson out? You know, there's lots of psychology being played in a short form game like this.
There's loads of subplots here, aren't there? Here's Johnson to Simpson, and they take a quick single shy of the stumps, and Alsop was not even in the frame.
Yeah, Simpson would have struggled as well. Whichever end it went to, it would have been curtains.
Yeah, shy there from Laurie Evans, but missed the stumps. Simpson moves on to 17.
And the thing is, now you see this sort of fielding as well in the 4-day game, don't you? It's bled into, you know, all that backing up of people and shies at the stumps. And
yeah, that's got to be close. I think that's sliding down as well. Nigel Long adjudicating that it was. Alsop lives to fight another day. But you're right, Andrew, I think, you know, what we see in T20 cricket, what we see in cricket in general, but T20 especially, it throws, it's sliding down, it throws a lot of subplots, doesn't it? A lot of sort of little Iliads played out to make up the main story, don't you think? It does.
It does, and it's surprising how much of that you can get into 20 overs.
Johnson short, and Alsop plays that with absolutely no timing, but Ollie Pope here.
I think he's played a blinder, Ollie Pope here. I think keeping Johnson on, I think, is really tightening the screw.
Yeah,
and he's going to say, look, even if you find it easier, not easy, but easier to score runs off my other bowlers, you're going to need to go at a heck of a rate, and that's going to create chances.
Yeah, it is. Run rate just creeping towards 11. once it starts to get to 2 a ball, it's rare that you see sides win. I think Allsop's going to get 4 runs there.
Yeah, inside
edge. And runs away to the Cromwell Road end of the ground. In front of the flats, scattering the seagulls.
There's going to be a lot of people who are saying, shut up about the seagulls, I think.
I think there might be, yeah. But when you live in a sort of inland area, you come to somewhere like here, and it's a novelty for me.
And technically, there's no such thing as a seagull.
No, they're gulls.
They're herring gulls,
they're
yeah.
herring gull or black-headed gulls, aren't they? Johnson. Yeah, that's gone through.
Yeah.
Allsop. And that completes Spencer Johnson's spell. And that's a really, really good bit of bowling from
2 for
the
20
Australian.
for 4.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
Exceptional from Spencer Johnson. Yeah, it was an attempted drive from Allsop. It beat him for pace, really. And he was just relieved that he didn't hear the death rattle behind him, because could have cleaned up his off pole. Sussex are 45 for 3 at the end of the 7th as Hey Jude rings around the ground.
Tom Curran's going to come on. But yeah, I think if you consider out that 20 runs, probably 8 or 10 have been inside edges that have gone on down to fine leg.
Yeah. Sussex getting the luck of the rub of the green at times, it has to be said, to even get the 45 that they've got after 7 overs. So we are going to see Tom Curran from the Cromwell Road end. He's going to come in now and bowl to John Simpson, who's 17 not out. Simpson clubs that away, doesn't time it on through the leg side. He's going to get 1. They're going to want to scamper through for 2, and that's one of those weird things about cricket, isn't it? If he timed it, if he played it brilliantly, he'd have only got 1. But because he mistimed it and it went into a vacant area, he's able to scamper through for 2.
You're rewarded for failure, you know. It's like it's a false economy, isn't it?
Yeah, and Sussex have probably, I mean, Surrey had a few as well, but Sussex have probably earned, I don't know, I've not really counted, but most of their runs from full shots at the moment. Hughes played quite a good few, I suppose. As that one is a clean hit, though. That's a big hit out to the square leg boundary for 4.
Yeah, Simpson almost putting that one through the scoreboard there.
Yeah, I did fear for the bright scoreboard away to the right.
That's all we need. That's all we need as commentators, the scoreboard going.
Cracking shot.
He nailed it.
He absolutely did, yeah. One of those where once it was hit, it stayed hit. As he now faces up and now runs that off the face towards sort of a deep, well, gully region really, and they've scampered through for a single. They've got to try and run hard now on everyone. Again, all of that will create opportunities for Surrey. They're going to need to go big when they feel like they can. They're going to need to turn 1s into 2s, 2s into 3s if they can, although it's not easy on this ground. And they are going to have to take quick, sharp singles to fielders, and it's all going to create chances. Surrey still very much on top. Sussex Sharks 52 for 3 on BBC Sussex and BBC Surrey as Tom Curran comes in and bowls, and this is played away by Allsop very carefully to the point boundary, and he's taken a single, and it's 54 for 3.
Yeah, I think that they need, you know, what we're in the 8th over here, and I think they need to be at 10 overs with about 80 odd on the board.
Yeah, that's
75.
often a good guide, isn't it? Yeah, that's often a good guide. Well, they're going to have to up that to get there. As Simpson on 24 faces, and he plays that into the offside, and this is the good example with a shot at the stumps, very quick single. And on the flip side, they've taken it. On the flip side, sharp singles like that, yes, it creates opportunities for Surrey, but it puts the fielding side under pressure.
Yeah,
and
it does.
That can create overthrows, it can create, you know, it can leave fielders on their, you know, like, yeah, they're really up for it in intent, but they know they can come in and squeeze, but at the same time, they know that if they don't hit, batter survives to see another day. Allsop 10 from 13, facing Curran, and he gets an inside edge on that one, and it will be collected by Smith behind the stumps, and they've come through for a single. And at the end of that over, which has cost 10, Sussex Sharks are 55 for 3. Run rate just below 7, but the required run rate just below 11.
Yeah. Long way to go in this game, though. It's not over yet.
No, and
Sussex will show that they're top of the division for a reason.
So the men out, Harrison Ward and James Coles in the first over, and then Daniel Hughes followed.
Yeah, Gus Atkinson's coming into the attack from the C end. Yeah, he's going to be bowling to Tom Alsop, who's absolutely nailed that one into the onside, but bounces just shy of, I think that's Dan Lawrence out there actually, under the stand. It's a long way out there from this position. But just a single. Is Simpson going to go here? T20's always batters second-guessing bowlers. Atkinson to Simpson, who nails that one into the onside. And it's a great catch.
Wonderful catch.
That's Rory Burns out there, I think. Diving down low. And that is the end of John Simpson with a score of 56, and he departs for a bright and breezy 25. Is that match turning, do you think?
I do, yeah, I mean, it could well be. I mean, Simpson obviously is, you know, is a canny operator, very experienced player. It's 15 years, incidentally, since he made his professional debut, which was in this format against Sussex at Lords when he made 13. If you want to know how long ago that is, Sussex fans, he was out caught by Chris Nash off the bowling of James Kirtley.
Wowzers.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And he only twice got out of the group with Middlesex during his time there.
Yeah, I think he was actually at Middlesex when they won it in 2008. But I don't think he was part of the squad.
he wasn't playing, so he hadn't made his professional debut at that point.
Right,
so,
but I think he was on their books.
Yeah.
But
he's not been to a finals date, but he'll hope to do so with Sussex. He's back in the hutch now, and we're going to see Atkinson to Hudson Prentice, who is the new man, and Hudson Prentice plays that back. So I've taken your ball, haven't I? I was used to bowling from this, commentating from this end in the first innings. Beg your pardon.
It's all right.
It was a dot ball, Dan. Anyway.
It was a dot ball, yeah. You carry on. I'm just enjoying my trip to the seaside on my holidays, Andrew.
It's Andrew Raven and Dan Whiting with you, by the way, on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey.
Atkinson comes in past umpire Nigel Long, full, and Hudson Prentice tries to squirt that one out into the offside, but misses it, and the ball dribbles out to Jamie Smith. 56 for 4 now, and the hosts are in a lot of trouble. Atkinson to Hudson Prentice. Oh, that's a nice shot. It's only going to get 1 for it. Deserved more than that, though. It's stylishly punched off the back foot there by Hudson Prentice. Sometimes there's no justice in it.
Well, exactly what I said earlier in terms of he played that so nicely, he only got a single for it.
And other times you can cloth it and get 2. It's Atkinson with his pigeon-toed approach into the wicket. Just nurdled off the hip there by Alsop. They think about 2, but Lawrence is quick off that boundary. He's got a good arm as well, Dan Lawrence. And that completes the 9th over, 58 for 4. And loss of John Simpson there. Could be a hammer blow to Sharks.
Let's hear the crowd then, shall we? There we are then. The Hove Chorus with their version of Sweet Caroline. 56 for 4, Sussex, and Dan Lawrence is going to bowl.
It's quite impressive there. I heard the Welsh down at Cardiff the other week singing their hymns, but that was like really good.
In comes Lawrence then and bowls, and it's a big swing from Allsop. It's going out, there's a fielder underneath it, and it's taken, and Dan Lawrence gets a wicket with his first ball.
Good catch, Dominic Sibley.
Really good catch in the deep. And Tom Allsop falls for 13. Sussex 58 for 5, and they are in real dire straits.
Yeah, I think that might be that. I think that could be the nail in the coffin. Never say never, but I really do think that Simpson and Allsop were the guys. Still, what, 130 to get, 130 odd to get. And Simpson and Allsop needed to be there for about 6-7 overs, I think, for Sussex to have any chance.
Well, Danny Lamb can certainly hit.
He certainly can, yeah.
Hit one, he's not...
Yeah, I saw quite a bit of him. He was on loan at Gloucestershire from Lancashire, and then he came here on loan, didn't he, before he signed permanently, Danny Lamb.
So,
He was
Lamb at the crease with Hudson Prentice. And Lawrence will come in and bowl. Lamb forward, properly defends. Lawrence with that idiosyncratic, as Dan says, action as a balloon escapes, and now one makes its way across the outfield. Lawrence comes in and bowls, and played out into the offside by Lamb, who will get through for a single.
But I interviewed Dan Lawrence earlier in the season, and part of his reason for moving to Surrey was because he wanted to bowl more. He wasn't getting overs at Essex due to Simon Harmer winkling sides out. Simon Harmer, there's a bit of controversy about last night, whether he was dropped or whether he was ill or injured.
So Lawrence comes in and bowls now, and that's pushed back to him by Hudson Prentice. No run. 59 for 5. 1 run from 4 deliveries in this over from Dan Lawrence. Surrey turning the screw in the derby. Flicked away by Hudson Prentice through mid-wicket. They're going to want a second. There's hesitation, and they can't get the second. And they probably, if they're on their bike and in tune with each other, then they should have had a second there, probably.
Yeah, I think they're nervous about a run out. A run out would, you know, really seal the deal, wouldn't it?
Lawrence to bowl to Lamb. Lamb tucked up a little bit by a shorter one, and he can't get it away. So the end of an excellent over from Lawrence. Got the wickets in there of Tom Allsop. And at the end of the over, Sussex Sharks 60 for 5 at the halfway stage. So at the halfway stage, they still need another 125 to win. It's all pointing towards a big Surrey win in the derby, which would have the effect of bringing the two sides closer together in terms of the table, but they'll both still be happy with their position at this stage of the season, at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, they wouldn't. It's a long season. There's a long way to go in it as well.
Yep,
Curran is going to come back.
Championship action, of course, as well, before we get the end of the group stage
From the
last.
sea end. Big swipe there from Hudson Prentice. And all goes to Jamie Smith.
I said I was going to mention this earlier. You mentioned Gloucestershire a few times, and having worked there and BBC Radio Gloucestershire, I worked with Bob Hunt.
Oh, wonderful man.
And I worked with him on a football match, actually. I only worked with him once, but he left a big impression, and that was many years ago, and he sadly died earlier this year, so I'd like to give Bob Hunt a shout out.
Yeah, he's a character, to say the least. Hudson Prentice goes over the offside, almost pulls out to cover, so they pick up a single. Bob Hunt's famous for betting on Forest Green once to win. I think they bet on them to win 6-1 away. And they were 6-1 up in the 90th minute. He scored a 7. He lost 300 quid.
I worked with him at Eastbourne Borough versus Forest Green in the National League once.
Curran in, Hudson Prentice, where's that one gone? Down the throat there of Sean Abbott by the look of it. Has he touched the rope? No, he hasn't, it's clean. And Danny Lamb is on his way. He departs for a single. Tom Curran striking.
Well, we are now close to, I reckon, administering the last rites on this Sussex reply. They are in real strife at 61 for 6. It's going to take some all-might. I tell you what, if you saw a tie last night, it would take an even bigger comeback to get anywhere near that for Sussex. Surrey turning the screw.
Yeah, it'd take a comeback of Lazarus proportions here, wouldn't it?
It really would.
And
so
a few people have had enough, and they're on their way out.
Yeah, they are.
Their sorrows.
They are.
Yeah, I think they think that the hosts have got no chance. A few youngsters in there as well. Maybe it's past their bedtime. A lot of people still staying here. Rory Burns down in front of us at long on. Took a very good catch. It's a snare. John Simpson, who was looking like he was rebuilding his Sussex innings. Curran in. Oh, he's bowled him. That's nipped back. And that's Castle McAndrew. First ball. And that is a absolute seed of doom there from Tom Curran.
Tom Curran on a hat-trick. And Surrey are closing in on what would be a massive victory.
61 for 7 here. And I thought that kept a little low, actually. We'll have a look at this on the replay. I thought, well, it nipped back. I thought it might have kept a little low on Nathan McAndrew there.
Big nip back, big nip back. Yeah, a little bit, but definitely through the gate.
On the front foot. There wasn't a little bit of concrete feet, wasn't there? He didn't have a lot of foot movement, but anyway, this brings in Jack Carson, the youngster from Northern Ireland via Hurstpierpoint College.
Not a route many people take.
No, not really. Anyway, he's about to face Tom Curran on a hat-trick. Can he do it? And thick outside edge.
I saw a hat-trick. Was it last year? 6 here. Was that Harmer? Might have been Harmer.
Okay. Yeah.
Took a hat-trick.
I think he's taken a few.
Yeah.
I think
Don't
shoot him. I think he's been the best overseas signing.
Oh, certainly well up there, yeah.
In recent years, yeah. I think him and Jeeton Patel in recent years, I mean, that's short and wide, and it's going to be signalled a wide. Yeah, I mean, I think, you can look at the wonderful Pakistani heritage you had here at Sussex with Imran Khan and Javed Miandad and those guys.
Mushtaq Ahmed, of course, part of the 2003
3 county championships. Yeah.
3, 5 and 7 and
those 100 wickets in 2003 for Mushy.
Murray Goodwin, of course, in terms of overseas players as well in that time. A single, sorry.
Yeah. Just hurdled into the onside.
Sackley Mushtaq, of course, at Surrey had success.
He wasn't bad. Sylvester Clark, I mean, he was so good. He had a bar named after him called Sylvester at the Oval. And a wonderful character, but he was rapid. But what I like about Sussex is the beautiful grounds down here. I've been to cricket tours down here. Arundel is lovely.
Arundel, yes.
Worthing.
It's a long walk from the station, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but there's nothing as criminal in cricket, in my opinion, as building a shopping centre on Hastings.
Yes, as we're going to see spin from Lawrence again. And they're going to be a single out through mid-wicket to Hudson Prentice, who's on to 5 from 9. Yes, the Priory Meadow shopping centre in Hastings.
Dreadful. I mean, whoever came up with that, I hope they were voted out of their council.
Ferrari Park no longer, as in comes Lawrence. Just push around the corner. They're going to take a quick single shot at the non-striker's end. Nothing doing there. Taking the single, Sussex. It's now just about limping. Well, I was going to say over the line. I mean, we've got another 8.5 overs to go, but they're just going to try and do what they can to limit the damage. As a big swing, they're certainly not going to get over the winning line, as they're going to be an inside edge and a single.
Net run rate might come into this, though. They want to get as close as possible.
There is that, and it might well be. I mean, Sussex have started really well, of course. This will only be their second defeat in 6, but they've won the other 4. But it might be a tight table come the end, and there's a shout for LBW. That one's going over the top, I think.
Too high.
Hit him high on the pad.
I'll tell you what, Dan Lawrence is getting some purchase out of this wicket, though.
Yeah.
We saw Coles earlier, and Lawrence is really getting it to grip and go.
Yeah, it's a sticky surface, isn't it, without question. And Lawrence now comes in and bowls, and then sort of a slog sweep attempt really through mid-wicket. Not timed. Out to the boundary rider on that side, and there's a single, 4 from it so far with 1 ball to go. 68 for 7, Sussex, if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey on DAB. Surrey closing in on a fantastic victory, as that one is swept by Hudson Prentice out to deep backward square leg for a single. 5 runs off the over, 69 for 7 Sussex at the end of the 12th.
Yeah, Dan Lawrence there, really bowling to his field. Noddy Pope knowing, cutting off the angles here. Singles are fine for Surrey at this stage of the game. Sussex 69 for 7 at the end of the 12th. Surrey at this stage were 113 for 4. And I think there's probably one more over from Tom Curran here will clinch the deal. There he comes, and he's been pulled into the onside, and Dominic Sibley can't cut that one off.
Yeah, it's narrowly just beyond him.
Takes off down that hill, doesn't it?
Really does.
Sort of zips on. It's like a, like a golf shot when it just sort of kicks on.
So at one point against Namibia, England were 13 for 2.
Ooh. Curran.
That's huge.
Miles.
That's come down by us.
Oh, Finn Hudson Prentice. I hope you're behaving. My car's parked down there.
That is massive.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Wow. He's given that the treatment. Well, it's going to take some rescuing, but that would be the only way Sussex could do it. That's straight as a die, that.
Yeah, very good tweet I've just had from Mick Wyman. He said Ollie Pope messed up last night beating Gloucestershire with Spencer Johnson only bowling 3 of his 4 overs. Good to see him bowling straight through tonight at Hove. And Spencer Johnson, well, he's 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 20. But it was the psychological damage he did in that first over, wasn't it? Where he removed Ward, he removed Coles, and it was a dagger blow to the Sussex Sharks. Curran in, and that's played. That's timing there for Finn Hudson Prentice.
Same area.
Hit that.
Same
straight
area
down the ground. Yeah. Show the maker's name, Finn. Lovely shot.
4-6-4.
Yeah.
Sussex only need another.
We got a game on here. You never know. You never know. Heroics from Hudson Prentice here. Where's he going to go here? Bang! That's gone over the top of extra cover. He's going to get at least 2.
Just
plugs in the outfield.
There are 3 fielders converging on it, but none of them could get round to catch it. So he's gone 4-6-4-2. So that's 16 off this over, and 2 balls to go. He was on 7 from his first 11 balls. He's now 23 for 15. Sussex still singing.
Where's that one gone? He's going to go out into the offside for a leg mark. Yeah, I think it's a few gentlemen that stand to our left singing "Surrey Get Battered" on. I think it might be the tune of the day. And the dance music. They're enjoying themselves.
They really are. They really are. Everyone's enjoyed themselves. I mean, some people have gone home, but it's been a sellout.
Yeah. Club have made a few quid as well. Really good. That's a thick outside edge there by Carson.
Just the one run.
So
17 off the over.
Yeah, big over. 88 for 7 at the end of the 13th.
They really are. Just to no rain due, but just to give you a comparison or a standard, Duckworth Lewis Stern is 136. That just gives you an idea of the atmosphere here at the county ground still. At what is it, 25 past 9?
Yes.
As Lawrence is going to bowl his third over, comes in and bowls now, swung away behind backward a square, behind the wicketkeeper basically, actually, it's by Carson. They're going to come through for a single.
I'll tell you what, if this is a closer game, I think this could be bubbling up here, this ground. It is atmospheric, it might be quite open, but it holds the noise in, doesn't it?
Yeah, and clearly they're cheering the boundaries, but if you were closer, they'd cheer every run as well. They've got the singing going now as Hudson Prentice doesn't time that one, plays it straight back to Lawrence. He's bowled brilliantly. 1 wicket for 7. Brilliant from him. You can hear good old Sussex by the Sea now going and ringing round the ground. You'd swear they were winning, but they're not, as Lawrence
bowled him.
He's bowled him. Oh, he's bowled him. There was hardly any celebration. But Hudson Prentice has gone for 23, and Surrey make another breakthrough. There was a sweep. I thought it hit the pad at first, but there was hardly any celebration from the Surrey players. But the stump was not back, and Hudson Prentice goes trying to manufacture something, and that's what we talked about earlier with that pressure. And Sussex 88 now for 8.
Yeah, Hudson Prentice just trying to manufacture something there. Tries to reverse Lawrence and misses it. And Lawrence has bowled pretty tidily, I think, here tonight. I think he's come on and actually made a difference.
Absolutely.
He got collared last night, but he's 2 for 7 on 2.5 overs. Last night he bowled 3 overs, 1 for 27. But he got a little bit of tap, I think, in the game before that. He bowled 2 overs, 1 for 9 against Somerset. 2 for 20 against Glamorgan, so he's bowled well in his campaign.
Ollie Robinson, the new man, into bat to face Dan Lawrence, and he pushes that back up to Lawrence.
Surrey have left out Cameron Steele, the leg spinner, who's their man to take the pace off the ball.
Lawrence coming in to bowl again to Robinson, gives himself room and cuts, but at heart a misfield in the ring, and it allows them to come through for a single. So Robinson and Carson at the crease, the last rites of this Sussex innings. The match inexorably heading towards a Surrey victory as Lawrence comes in and bowls, flicked away by Carson, down towards deep backward square leg for a single. 90 for 8, they still need another 95, but that won't be happening.
There's Timel Mills left in the locker for the Sussex Sharks.
England are 58 for 2 now against Namibia at the end of the power play.
Yeah, lucky to get on the pitch though, weren't they? Wonder who made that decision? The West Indian Tourist Board, perhaps?
Just apologies if you picked up any fruity language coming from the hospitality area, which is close to where our effects mic is. There's some people having a good conversation down there, which we're picking up quite a lot of. But 90 for 8 as Carson will now face Sean Abbott, who's switched ends.
Yeah, here he comes in from the C end, up the hill. Yes. It's a fake there from Carson, and just dribbles out into the onside for a single. 92 for 8 in the 15th. We do apologise
we'll just turn,
about
we'll
the
just turn that
language.
down. There's yes, some plenty of words being punctuated with other things, but that's with the crowd now dying down a little bit. There's still some singing going on. There's a hardy group of individuals which are continuing the singing.
Abbott in. That's a nice shot. That's a
Only a
nice
single.
shot there.
Oh, two.
Come
No,
back
come
for
up for
two.
two. He's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the longest parts. That.
Yeah, he's got it into that gap there. There's a big gap between fine leg and deep backward square. There's a gentleman to our right who looks a little bit like Mick Fleetwood on the Rumours album by Fleetwood Mac, who seems to be causing most of the damage.
Let's hope he doesn't have Samantha Fox with him. As yes, Sean Abbott continues.
Oh, where's that gone? That's gone away
Beating the
for
keeper
4.
Thick edge from Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
Smith, I wonder, just might have taken a step slightly to his left before going off to his right, and he's got to push off, obviously, but see on the replay how close he was to nabbing that one.
Yeah.
We're just watching it ourselves now. Yeah,
Oh,
well, because
oh.
Robinson backed away,
Smith's
so Smith
got a
went
glove
with him.
on it.
Yeah,
got a
Robinson
glove on
backed
it.
away, so clearly he was figuring Smith, I guess, because he can't see at that point. He was figuring that the ball was probably angling towards the leg stump. It wasn't, and Robinson's edge took it away from him as a result.
Abbott looking to shut the door on this Sussex Sharks innings, and that is smashed
2 bounces for 4.
with vigour, violence and venom by Ollie Robinson.
It's turned into Peter Drury all of a sudden.
Well, I'm trying to liven myself. It's getting late. It's past my bedtime on a Saturday night. You know me, Andrew. I'm normally tucked in bed with a hot cocoa and a good book this time on a Saturday night. That's 100 up for the Sussex Sharks. 101 for 8. Abbott in short, pull, and over the head of Rory Burns, much to the enjoyment of Big Fleetwood down here to our right.
2 more runs.
He's going his own way.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
2 runs there to Ollie Robinson.
And we've had 15 off this over. 103 for 8, Sussex, still well short of their target, 82 short in fact. This is the last ball of the 15th.
Abbott short and ramped. Oh, that's cute.
Only a single, mind you.
It's only a single.
He didn't really get stuck in the pitch, and he didn't have enough power or enough pace on the ball to actually manufacture that shot.
If cricket shots were played like, you know, if it was like ice dancing, he'd have got a 10 there for
on
artistic
artistic
merit.
merit, he'd have been gold medal winner.
Yeah, it'd have been like Torvill and Dean. 104 for 8.
More like Pearl and Dean. We're bringing out all the references for the kids. We've got Mick Fleetwood and Samantha Fox, Pearl and Dean. Right. Dan Lawrence is going to bowl his final over. 2 for 9 off 3. What a phenomenal bit of bowling this has been. As Dan Lawrence comes in now and bowls, and that's going to just be flicked up in the air, but between 2 fielders in the mid-wicket region. And he's going to get a single there. Robinson takes him off to 15 off 8. And Lawrence will now come in and bowl again, this time to Carson. Carson almost on full toss there as he came down the pitch, but didn't get enough on it. Good old Sussex by the Sea again rings out. It's all in vain for the home side because Surrey are going to come away from this with victory as Lawrence comes in and bowls. And then he tried to swing that away, but he's got an under edge on that, and it's going to run down for 4. pitch. 4 runs. Sussex, like you said, trying to just avoid the net run rate damage, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think this might come into it with these two sides. Surrey will go top of the division with a win here, but their run rate is going to, I think, come into this group. And what promises to be a very competitive and very tight southern group.
Oh, swung away that one. That's going to be huge, I think. Is it? Or is it? Yes, it's just cleared the rope. That 4 runs, actually. Beg your pardon, 4 runs.
Really?
Yeah, it's the square leg umpire indicated 4. We can't see because it's right down in front of a lot of people wearing different, very dark colours, and I couldn't pick up the ball. But,
and there's sort of trees there as well. I lost it.
Just bounced in front. So that's our excuse. Anyway, we're sticking to it. An attempted swing, that one from Carson again, doesn't get hold of it. So yeah, 4. It was indicated, say, by the square leg umpire, who was closer to it, and it was just shy of the fielder. Yes, we've had some more interesting language, but we'll gloss over that for now. A quick single and a misfield, actually, which allowed them to come through for 2. That was the cheers that you heard. It's been a little bit untidy, actually, from Surrey at times.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be too churlish because they bowled brilliantly. But occasionally the fielding has just been a little bit short of where they'd like it, but that's the only blemish on what has been a brilliant performance, because with the bat at the beginning of their 20 overs and towards the end they were superb, Dan.
Yeah, that's Dan Lawrence bowled out. Yeah, they have been. They've been wonderful. But Dan Lawrence bowled out, and he's been
that's superb.
Really good. My screen's just updating, but I think he's gone 2 for 20 off his 4, exactly like Spencer Johnson. As Gus Atkinson comes in, and Ollie Robinson has a poke at that outside the off stump. Someone with a fire and a stick at a barbecue, isn't it? Just having a little poke there. Just moving the coals around.
If you pardon the pun.
Or James Coles. Atkinson in, Robinson plays out too long on. He knows his ground well, he knows there's 2 there, into that gap there between Tom Curran and Dominic Sibley. Now, I think that's a good move, actually, bringing Tom Curran into this long on position. Rory Burns was seeming to be on the receiving end of the ire of Big Fleetwood to our right. Oh, Robinson plays a curious shot there. Again, he's going to get 2.
Yeah, I think that's...
he's deliberately played that.
I think he has. He has.
Clever cricket.
He recognises where the gap is. He also recognises, I think, that although obviously every professional cricketer wants to run hard in to save the ball, they're also Surrey also don't want to pick up silly little injuries by.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good weight of shot.
Yes.
Atkinson in, out the back of the hand. Robinson, thick outside edge, runs it down to 3rd. Moves the score on to 120. But these runs here could be crucial at the end of the campaign for Sussex. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Their current run rate is 7.2. Their required run rate is now 19.5.
Yeah, but they don't want to lose by too many.
No.
Surrey will want to finish this off quickly.
Oh, hello. Into position early for a scoop.
That was
so early, in fact, that I think Atkinson would have seen it and adjusted his delivery as a result. That's how early he went. Missed it entirely. Sorry, I spoke over you.
No,
I was just so shocked by the whole thing.
It was. It was sort of almost Friday night that he got into position.
Yeah,
it was that early.
He was in position at Essex.
Yeah. Atkinson, short, and 15 love, smashed into the ground.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, lovely.
Carson. 21 for 8 at the end of the 17th. This game is now...
It's meandering, isn't it?
It's meandering, it's wandering. The embers are slowly being snuffed out.
You're still on your barbecue analogy. So, the voice of Dan Whiting from BBC Radio London. Myself, Andrew Rayburn, on BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio Surrey and the BBC Sport app. Surrey closing in on a convincing victory over the Sharks. Sussex, 121 for 8. Still needing an improbable 64 for the final 3 overs. As we're going to see a little attempted ramp off that Tom Curran delivery from Carson, but it's sort of travelled through to Jamie Smith behind the stumps.
Yeah, I think this has been a really clinical performance from Surrey. Came here in 3rd place, came to top of the table. Last night would have hurt them on social media is that, well, their fans set very high standards for them. And they were quite critical. And I think that would have hurt them.
This has been excellent from Surrey tonight. It really has. As Tom Curran comes in and bowls to Carson. Carson sort of bunts that down through the onside and
sort of snaked across the ground.
And it's he got a bit of bottom edge on it, and it went to long on for a single.
These two put on 34 now.
Tom Curran, 2 wickets as he comes in and bowls now, and that's up in the air. This might well be wicket number 3 for him, and it's taken in the deep. Ollie Robinson's counter-attack comes to an end. 20 off of 13 balls for him. Sussex lose their 9th on 122. Start the car, as David Lloyd would say.
Yeah, I think
Surrey are closing in on victory.
There's Jordan Clark out there with the safe hands. Isn't that a bowl tonight? I don't think. Is it Jordan Clark or
No.
Mr.? No, he hasn't. But I think it's pace off.
Stewart starting to make their way out now to the boundary rope. More Sussex fans stream out of the ground. More seats, empty seats appearing, blue and white around the ground. Hope if you may not have your headsets now or whatever your earpieces, but if you've been listening, I hope you've had a wonderful evening anyway, despite the result, the home fans. But Surrey fans who are here will be absolutely cock-a-hoop with their side, because they have been excellent.
Yeah, those who've travelled down the M23 would have had a good day out at the seaside.
Can Tom Curran finish it off here for Surrey? He comes in and bowls, and Mills gets that down the ground for a single to long on. Mal Mills practices that shot again from the non-striker's end. Well, there's a possible chance that Surrey may miss their last over cut-off, but that won't bother them too much. Unless, of course, they can wrap it up before then. But 6 minutes away. Might do it, I suppose. But Tom Curran coming towards... And that's going to be slogged down the ground. Wow. It's going to be 6.
Carson. Aye, where's that come from?
Jack Carson has absolutely hammered that. And of course we are coming towards the end of the 18th, so they will get that. They will be within their cut-off quite easily, actually. But yeah, excellent shot from Carson for 6.
That was
meaty.
Went a long way there.
Meaty from Jack Carson.
Yeah.
It's the way he tells them. There you go, there's another one for
That's
you.
That's a cracker, Murphy.
As he comes in and bowls now, Curran nerdled away for a single, shy at the stumps.
Mills was possibly struggling there.
At the end of the over, then the end of the 18th, Sussex Sharks are struggling themselves, 130 for 9. They are floundering, the Sharks. 55 still needed to win. 54 for another tie for you, Dan. But it's going to need something incredibly special from Jack Carson. But no, that won't happen. Surrey have been well worthy of a win.
I'm not sure my cardiologist would recommend another tie for me, I tell you. It's not good for you. It's not good for the soul. Here's Gus Atkinson from the C end, and bowls in, that wraps it up. Carson goes offside and loses leg stump, and Surrey win this game by 54 runs in a clinical performance.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Surrey, and they've deservedly won. Leg stump out of the ground. Tom Curran finishes, Gus Atkinson finishes it off 2 for 25 for him. 3 wickets for Tom Curran as well. Brilliant from Dan Lawrence in the field. So Surrey made 184 for 8 from their 20 overs. Jamie Smith making 45, Laurie Evans 41. 3 wickets for Danny Lamb, 2 each for Tymal Mills and Ollie Robinson. Sussex Sharks bowled out for 130. John Simpson 25, Jack Carson 24, Finn Hudson-Prentice 23 and Ollie Robinson 20, all making starts but interrupted by Tom Curran 3 for 39, Johnson 2 for 20, Lawrence 2 for 20 and Atkinson 2 for 25. Surrey winning by 54 runs, Dan.
Yeah, they never recovered from those Spencer Johnson first over where he's just ripped the heart out of the top order, and it does take a hell of a lot. I know it's only 2 wickets and sides do recover in 20 over cricket, but it's the psychological damage that can do to a side as well. Spencer Johnson just ripped the soul out of the Sussex Sharks. Good game of cricket though, thoroughly enjoyed. Really good atmosphere here. The crowd played their part, didn't they?
They really did, yeah. So I hope you've all enjoyed it at the ground. We'll wrap up in a minute or two, but yeah, hope you've enjoyed the game if you've been listening in the ground. So for Sussex, they have 4 wins and 2 defeats now from their 6 games in the T20 Blast so far, and Surrey of course had that tie as well, so they've won 4, lost 1 and tied 1. So excellent from Surrey, who go to the top of the table I believe now, and